Alright, class. Settle down. We have a important announcement today. We're gonna be playing sick-ass beat-em-ups. That's it, pretty much. So, what we're gonna do today, we're gonna soon be joined by my fintuber buddy Rudelad. And we're gonna play old Capcom beat-em-ups, probably start with Final Fight, and then just talk about Ska-punk. Basically, we realized both of us are really into Ska-punk. That's nice. Let's let a couple more people trickle in. How you guys doing? Geos, say hi. Mr. Marshall, you don't have to kiss my ass like that. You're still gonna get an A. How you been? How's your Sunday? Playing Pokemon as usual, of course. In the back of the class with your Game Boy Color. Am I sounding alright? I had to move my mic again a bit. Hope I'm not too loud or too quiet, for that matter. You sound fine. Thanks. Of course I do. But yeah, we're basically now waiting for Rudy to be done with his stream opening shenanigans. And then we'll jump on call and start playing some beat-em-ups. I haven't played Final Fight in probably like at least 10 years, I think. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Or horrible, who knows. I barely remember anything about the game. Now, before we start, I suggest all of you go to the bathroom and all that. Get it out of the way so you don't piss yourself with all of this sick-ass content. I'm sorry. Does Twitch allow cursing? I think it does. If it doesn't, then say bye-bye to my monetization. Dreams of monetization. I'm not monetized yet. Oh man, I really need to get a new office chair. This one is creaking so bad. Can you hear this? Listen. That's annoying. Yeah, you can hear that. Yeah. Can't really do much about it at this point. I was considering maybe I'll make myself a new chair at some point. Be a fun project. For those not in the know, I have a woodworking bench in my living room. You know, for projects. Might as well make myself a new chair. Right? Not even using an office chair at the moment. I'm sitting on my recliner. You bougie bitch. Okay. Rudy is ready, so we'll jump on call with him. 3, 2, 1, no. You can see him down there. It's just a tiny head.
All right, how you doing, my friend?
Hello, Rudy. How you doing?
Uh-oh, I forgot to adjust the chat so you're coming in on my end of the stream. So it looks like I'm talking to myself like a crazy old man.
Whoops.
All right, let me see if I get that figured out. All right, so headset, earphone, Actor 7, where's chat? All right, can you say something really quick?
Hi.
All right, there we go. The bar is going up. Let me turn you down so you're not peeking the mic.
I hope I'm not too loud.
No, it should be fine, and we can always adjust thanks to the wonderful power of sliders. I'm talking about the adjustment things, not the hamburgers. Or that show from Fox in the 90s. I was about to say, there's a reason that all of my streams on Twitch are tagged ADHD, because it's a very real thing for me.
That's fine.
All right. I have put the word out in various locations, including the FinTuber server. Our fellow Finns can come and, talk to us about stuff. I was going to leave the game open. Also, are we friends on the Steam?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think we are. We gotta fix that.
Sure. Let me go ahead and send you my friend code.
You always need a bit of scuff at the start of the stream.
It's true. Like I was saying to Ari before stream, like you need to learn to thrive on scuff, or in this case, like sort of deal with it, be ready to kind of improvise on the fly. Because as has been said by others, including Rin Penrose, there's so many moving parts involved with being a VTuber, because you have the game, you have your capture, you have your sound mixing, just so much stuff going on at the same time.
Oh yeah, for sure. On my end, is Rudy coming out all right? You guys can hear him?
Hello, everyone. Sell out with me, oh yeah, sell out with me tonight. The record company's gonna give me lots of money, and everything's gonna be all right.
Okay. Rudy sounds perfect. Nice. That's a nice
Fantastic.
compliment to you.
Well, thank you very much. One of my assets has always been my voice. The other has been my fine, thick head of Finnish hair.
Rudelad737. I'll let you get think of. We are already friends, apparently.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, the reason I had to actually shut down the Capcom game before stream was that you can't turn the volume all the way down.
Yeah, I noticed it too. I was like trying to mute the music to put on some background, like sweet classroom background music, and I realized it's just slight rock music coming from a distance.
So I actually shut the game off, so I'll open it back up in a hot minute. Most of the time when I open up a stream, I use one of Turbo's fine Eurobeat remixes. You folks might know Turbo from all the Hololive remixes he did earlier, late last year. and he did a remix of Fighting Gold from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Vento Aturo. Yeah. And it's a really great song called Fighting Gold that I'm like, that's so appropriate.
I actually tried watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure last year. I just couldn't get past part 1. I know I'm probably gonna love it if I get to like part 2 and 3, but I don't know. Part 1 was a slog.
No, I literally skipped part 1 and 2 on my first go through. I have since like gone back and watched bits and pieces of it, but like you start with part 3 and that's like it's like starting with season 3 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. You skip a lot of this stuff that just like, you know, is them sort of finding their feet. Super Eye Patch Wolf, if you know him,
Yep.
who actually has quite a few good videos about martial arts, does a bunch of really interesting breakdowns from JoJo, and he talks about how part 1 is like a Rocky kind of finding his voice, especially in the long form storytelling.
Yeah, I get that.
Hey Sheepy, how you doing? Luma Lee is in the chat.
Oh, by the way, should we do like a collaboration shared chat thing?
That's always fun. I think I need to add you as a favorite, possibly. I'm trying to remember how to do that because I've done it before.
It just gave me like a prompt on OBS that level up your collaborations with shared chat and get started.
Yeah. I mean, that's always an interesting thing, and like, you know, we don't have like an overwhelming number of chatters. No offense. Oh my god, I'm looking at Smiladonna. So Smiladonna, fellow fintuber, she got on the front page, and she's got 1,500 people watching her stream right now.
Holy oh my god, that's good for her. That's great.
I mean, honestly, I mean, we do love people watching us, but I mean, it's so. One of the things about the fintuber community is they lift each other up. That's why I love it so much.
For sure.
So yeah, no, we're like super proud of them. Okay, so let's see if that's the way to do this. Twitch's search function is just like very annoying sometimes.
I know.
Let's see. Oh, and I should probably mute your stream so I'm not like getting double of myself. Let's see. All right. Okay. Yeah. Knock. And you should get a notice for that.
And I accept. Get started.
No, I didn't.
Now.
Yeah. Deny access to microphone. And yeah, it looks like we're good. So basically, where's the option to share chat? Start sharing chat. Okay. That's the best function of it. It kind of sounds like the whole thing seems like Twitch wanted to sort of integrate a lot of Discord functions into its own platform. But honestly, Discord's just like a better package all the way around, which is why I tend to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Shared chat started. Okay, got it. I think we're good with that. Why does it keep throwing my OBS on the other monitor? Jesus.
How many monitors in your setup?
2.
I've got 3,
boy.
like a giant nerd.
I've been thinking of getting like a third one, but I have this really old like HP monitor.
Well, you could use that as your vertical monitor. That's what I've got. Like my oldest monitor is my vertical monitor, and then I've got my new shiny 27-incher as my main, and then I have like 24-incher as my secondary. So I don't use the third monitor all the time, but it's like super useful for like reading and data and stuff like that. Right now I've got it with my and I apologize if anybody's like kind of bored by the inside baseball streamer talk, but I've got the Twitch and the Discord going on the vert monitor, a model going on the main monitor, and then like OBS on the monitor to the left. It's a learning experience.
Now, I see the like shared chat thing. Should we have microphone turned like
leave the microphone off because we've got it handled through Discord.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Mm.
All right. I'm going to launch the game. We're using the Capcom beat 'em up bundle because it was like on sale. Oh no. My dad's calling. Give me just a hot second. Because he operates on actually the same time zone you're in.
Oh, that's neat.
Well, he lives most of the year in Estonia.
Right.
Okay, I've got like all the stuff cranked like way down. Because the one thing that I'm annoyed about, because I just got myself a new set of headphones, but they don't have the thing that balances out Discord chat and the game noise. So apologies, anybody. Right. First off, let me send a text to my dad, tell him that I love you in the middle of a stream.
Why is there a like mic chat possibility in the Capcom beat 'em up bundle?
That I'm not sure of.
I went from the network. I went and disabled the mic and put the chat volume all the way down. So I don't know if there's like possibility of us coming through the game or something, but I'll just take.
Yeah, I think you need to give it like perms for the mic and stuff like that. But network, yeah, we'll disable your mic. You should be fine.
Okay. Are we ready to jump into Final Fight?
I believe we are. Let me go ahead and online mode, create game, Final Fight English version, creating session. Oh.
Should I like join through the game or through Steam, like friends list?
Let me quit game. All right, so create lobby, Final Fight English version, lobby name, lobby type private, name. Let me joining the game allowed. The name is called Get the High Score. All right, confirm. All right, and then wait. Okay. Is there a way to invite you?
I genuinely have no idea. Let me see if I can just join.
Invite it to game. There we go.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we'll hit ready.
Now, if I only remembered how to play this.
It is so. That's why I wanted to kind of start us out with this one, because it is such like a basic game.
There's no
you weren't
background music for the intro at all?
I don't think so, no. Okay. Is it showing up on your end?
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, who do you want to be?
I want to be Cody.
I'll be Guy then. I love Guy.
Hell yeah.
So, fun fact, they released this thing for the Super Nintendo. And okay. Yeah, there's just jump and punch. Literally the only two buttons in the game.
Flying psychic. No, wait a minute. Is it the spinning back kick? Throws there.
Break the phone
Yep.
booth.
Yeah,
grab the chocolate if you need it.
How do you... Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, again, this game is just like so basic.
Oops. It's like mindless button mashing.
Yeah. Definitely. There's like It's all about like what angle you come at them at and like spamming jump kicks and stuff like that. Get the pipe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like you pick up the weapons, and if you get hit, you just drop them immediately.
Yeet.
So, going with a fun fact earlier, so they released this game for the Super Nintendo, I think, in like 93 or 94. But the memory was so limited, they could only put in Cody and Hager. And then they came out with later with a special version called Final Fight Guy, which was, guess what? Guy.
Final Fight Guy sounds like a really bad translation of a game.
I am the Final Fight Guy.
oh my god.
Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
okay.
I don't know if that was friendly fire or not, so sorry.
I don't know, I just got stuck in the middle of the guys and they spammed me.
Yeah, but this guy definitely does not play fair though, because there's friendly fire. It's fine though, because we have unlimited quarters, unlike back in the arcades back in the day, which is I guess something you maybe not didn't experience.
I had time to experience arcade like a couple times back when I was like a wee lad. I remember in amusement parks we had arcades sometimes. So I played, I think, Tekken Tag Tournament 1 in the arcade.
You need to continue. Oh crap! I just realized I didn't switch the view. Otherwise, people are like, cool. It's fine though.
Is this
again?
Hold up, is that Poison from like Street Fighter?
Yeah, well, this is the game where she or they premiered.
Oh right, yeah, but that was a palette swap, I think, from the like what's in Street Fighter.
Yep.
Or what ended up in Street Fighter.
Well, that's the thing about games like these, the early beat 'em ups, especially. They had 2 or 3 different versions of enemies, just like the same graphic, just like palette swapping it like 15 times.
Hell yeah. Pro gamers right here.
Yeah, you know, we ain't bad. Yeah, this thing kind of like messes up the windows.
It really does.
I'm actually working on this thing for my set. Yep, that's Poison.
Yep.
For a setup where I play the games off a Steam Deck and then like it's connected to my main computer.
Oh, nice.
Because I got one of the first gen Steam Decks. Because that's when I thought I would be like moving to Finland for like a year, so I wanted something as a backup to my laptop that was portable. Also Linux based, because you know I'm a proud Finn.
I've been thinking about like getting Linux recently.
That's like
it's just too much
Microsoft
work for me right now. I don't have the time or patience to learn a whole new operating system.
Honestly, when I've run Linux machines a few times before, Ubuntu is a kind of a good way to learn the system, because it's sort of like baby's first Linux.
Yeah.
It's got like a pretty good GUI, but then it's got all the regular Linux stuff under the hood, so you can just start basically like. I remember my first big Linux thing, and that was, excuse me, enabling use of CD-ROMs.
Nice. I actually, like, back in high school, or Lukia here in Finland, we had a Linux, like, class. Our like, what do you call it, homeroom teacher? Or whatever.
Yep.
He was, like, a really avid Linux user, so he gave us, like, a Linux class, or, like, an optional class, and we learned, like, the basics of Linux and Ubuntu and all that. It's just, it's been so many years, I really am not confident I could use it.
Maybe it's like riding a bike, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the martial arts equivalent of riding a bike. Stretches? I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
So I should ask on the martial arts front, like, what are you an active practicer of right now?
Right now, like, unfortunately with my work and all that, I don't have the energy to practice martial arts like consistently. So for the past almost a year now, I haven't done like officially any martial art. I still like work on my kickboxing by myself and with my girlfriend, who we actually met in a kickboxing class.
Oh man,
years
that's
ago.
so cute.
But we sometimes like train at home and we wrestle and all that. So, but
Well, I mean, that's kind of maybe that's a little bit more private that we need to know about. But
no, come on, shut up.
I'm joking with you, dude.
Yeah, but I haven't done like official martial art for a year. I did last thing I did was like kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Muay Boran for like
so
half a year.
Muay Thai, that's elbow and knee strikes mostly. Well,
Yeah,
that's what it's centered around anyway.
pretty much. Yeah, and the clinch work is a pretty like essential part of Muay Thai.
Fair enough.
Like stand up grappling.
So, on the ADHD front, one of the advertisements I think for John Wick, like I think 3 or 4, was like gunfighting is martial arts, and I'm like, that's sort of true. I mean, granted, it's much more expensive to like practice gunfighting than it is to practice martial arts, because God, bullets are expensive. But that's close to pretty much the only martial art that I actually practice is, you know, firearms.
Yeah, I do think like guns are like martial art. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at guns. Back in my military days, I was horrible at aiming. Probably because I had astigmatism and I didn't know it. But I always liked shooting guns. It's just that in Finland it's almost impossible to get a gun.
Yeah, there's like, it's like super complicated. You have to show, oh, well, I've been like this part of this firearm shooting club for like at least 2 years. And, you know, I mean...
Either that or you have to hunt like very frequently.
Regularly.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Sodom. Oh, you can't see the kanji on his t-shirt. That's really funny because, like, this guy's actually a weeb because the kanji on his t-shirt that you normally can see is like incorrect. So it's got the wrong bottom half, so it just means nothing.
Oh.
So he's a weeb. He like loves Japanese culture but doesn't actually understand it.
Yeah, I mean he does have jeans on.
True.
With a samurai helmet. I for like the longest time I wanted to get like a kanji on my arm that says like soup or something. Like a really stupid kanji.
There's like a dude on TikTok that actually has like a Chinese character that says like mushu pork on his arm, and whenever he walks around the Chinese market stuff like that, people are like, you know what that means, right? He's like, yeah, I picked it on purpose.
That would be so funny. In Finland, everybody would be like, oh, cool, what does that mean? And then I'd be like, courage, or some stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the joke, I was going to get like some kanji done on me at a certain point, but I was going to like have it like translated back and forth a couple times, so I actually was sure of what it meant. But eventually I didn't. I've only got one tattoo, and that's for like actually a punk band.
Oh,
the Bouncing Souls.
That's nice. I've been
Yep.
considering getting like a tattoo, but my demands are so high that I just can't go and get a tattoo from whoever.
It's like middle of the car is the break point. Oh, sorry.
But maybe I'll get a tattoo at some point. Just fucking break already, Jesus.
There's like a specific place you have to hit it.
Oh, sorry. That's not the place.
That's fine. That's it. This is it.
There we go.
Can I do it? No. I wonder if the guy comes in. Okay, he comes in, but he doesn't say, "Oh, my car!"
Oh, my car!
They actually referenced that in an episode of Gravity Falls.
Really?
Yeah, there's one episode called Fight Fighters, where he basically pulls a guy out of a video game and uses him to like get revenge on a bully.
Oh.
And there's one part where the video game character is just like beating up someone's car, just like we just did. And at the very end of it, a guy comes in, it's like, ah, my car! And I saw that for the first time, I busted out laughing.
Nice. I vaguely remember the Gravity Falls episode with the fighting game character, but it's been years since I saw the show. So.
No, I've been rewatching a bit lately because my next model that is being worked on right now is Gravity Falls themed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of in the. I'll show you at some point, but yeah, it's in the style of Gravity Falls.
Nice.
Suo, is working on it. She's our lovely fintuber, fish frog auntie.
Yeah, most of my viewers might have seen Sue at some point in the chat. She comes in and tells the most horrendous puns.
That's one of the things I really like about her. That and she made me Karelian stew once.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I've last time I was in Finland was back in July of last year. My dad was in Estonia getting married, and so I decided to use it as an excuse to visit Finland because my dad had to have a destination wedding, which is just like, come on. I don't know if that's a big phenomenon in Finland, but destination wedding where you like fly out to a completely different place to get married.
I don't think that's like common at all here. I haven't heard any of, at least my as like relatives or anyone do that. Might be an American thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of seen as sort of a dick move because you're asking people to like pay for airfare or traveling costs.
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine did it recently, but it's forgivable because it's just like 2 states over as opposed to like in a completely foreign country.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Of course, it's kind of tedious to like drive 2 states over. Actually, I don't know how long the like drives between states are, or traveling between
it's about
states
like,
usually.
It depends. Like I can get to a different state inside of like an hour and a half, where I am right now. But that said, actually, do you mind if we pause for just a hot second?
Yep.
So, actually, how do we pause in this mode?
Can we pause?
Oh, there we go. Okay. It paused on my end.
Okay.
Because this thing keeps messing with my windows, I'm going to pop up chat on my phone. Stream Manager. Sounds like it's still going on your end.
It's still going for me, but the time isn't going, I think. I'm not sure.
All right, cool. All right.
Oh, it's going. I don't know. Okay, anyway.
I just unpaused.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. We've got combined chat.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hey, put me down. Put me down. Put me down.
Doing
Great.
a
We
little
gotta
jiggy.
fight 3 Andors. These guys are based on Andre the Giant. Oh no, your timer ran out.
What? Okay, well. It didn't even ask me to continue. Or at least I didn't see it. But,
No, it's fine. Alright, let's see if I can get some katana action. I guess this is the part that's designed to like eat up a bunch of your quarters.
Alright, yeah.
Well, that's
thinking,
the way these things were designed.
Yeah, about the character, your character Guy.
Yep.
Isn't he in Street Fighter 2? Do I remember incorrectly?
Not Street Fighter 2, but I think he showed up in Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh, right, yes, Alpha. Yeah. What is his like fighting style? Well, is it like some like ninjutsu or something?
I think his style is labeled as ninjutsu.
Okay.
Because he's got the sweet gi with the sleeves torn off, and like a dragon. Alpha and 4 says GOC in your chat.
All right, yeah. Street Fighter Alpha and 4. Cody is in a lot of more games. Yeah, I've seen Cody around. Like
he's in like a prisoner uniform in one of the games.
All right, yeah.
They tried to make a modernized Final Fight game, I think in 2012, called Final Fight Streetwise, and there's a whole video about why that didn't work.
Oh.
And there's a guy named Matt McMuscles who he used to be part of like some kind of like streaming group, I think, but he kind of broke off on his own, and his successful content is basically him being like, "This game sucks, and here's why."
Okay.
A lot of it is generally they ran out of time / money during the development, or someone asked for ridiculous changes like 3/4 of the way through the development cycle.
It's like the more I do like YouTube stuff myself, the less I feel like concentrating on things that suck or like things that make me angry.
Yeah, no.
I had like a few of my earlier video ideas. I was doing like why this representation of a style in media sucks or something. But then I was just there's enough like negativity surrounding martial arts already. I don't want to contribute to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if martial arts is kind of the same way, but like I actually don't watch a lot of gun tubers because they're not really all that interesting. They're usually like really testosterone driven or negative. The gun tubers that I like the most are the ones that are like more nerdy engineering types.
All right.
I don't know if there's like sort of an equivalent in martial arts YouTubing.
Yeah, basically there's like most martial arts content, because of the way that hobby itself is, it's like super macho and like, I don't know, it's just unpleasant.
Yeah,
it's really manly macho stuff. Like,
yeah,
I think martial arts is for everybody.
Yeah, I'm the same way with like, you know, firearms, you know. And there's different kinds of firearming. It doesn't always have to be like Mr. Super Tactical former military guy, because military service isn't compulsory in the U.S. So there's usually normally like a type of guy that gravitates towards military service.
Oh yeah. One gun channel I've been following like a bit is Forgotten Weapons, I think.
Gun Jesus.
Yeah. Since they've done stuff with the Finnish company Varusteleka.
Yep. No, he's probably my favorite gun tuber. Him and Jonathan Fulton from the Royal Armories. Oh. They're the two nerdiest like gun tubers. They've done a lot of collabs and stuff like that. There's another section that definitely was designed to eat your quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they both of them come up from a more of a nerdy engineering background. I remember Ian did a lot of collabs recently with a guy he wrote this book about like the guns of James Bond, and that was just super nerdy. They were talking about these like obscure like concealed carry pistols from like the 80s that had like clear grips so you could see how many bullets they had in them and stuff like that.
That sounds like the like see-through controllers of the 90s.
I'm actually using a see-through controller right now. It's a PS4 controller. No,
nice. I remember like early 2000, like late 90s when that was a huge thing.
You know who still uses that technology? A lot of the clear see-through stuff.
Yeah.
Prisons.
Really?
Yeah, so people can't like hide things in their prison computer.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's like specially designed prison laptops that have like no USB ports. That like you can browse the internet and they're like very restricted. Again, this is like one of those ADHD tangents. And I think that's actually kind of fascinating. But I think clear technology is like very cool because like I like this controller. It was sort of like a hand-me-down from my brother when he was still doing Google Stadia.
Oh, somebody actually used Google Stadia.
My brother used Google Stadia. Well, he can't really have like a gaming PC or a console at home because his wife is not way into video games, and my brother has like a kid, and you know, his wife doesn't want him to have a negative influence. And I'm like, cool, I understand. We make these compromises in like our like lifelong partnerships. So I don't really question that because my sister-in-law's a very nice lady. I don't want to piss her off. and B, because raising a kid is a very complicated thing. Like VTubing, it has a lot of moving parts, but you know, like Scuff there can be a little more consequential.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, this.
I'm 100% sure I would have never gotten through this game back as a kid.
Yeah, because like we're like what maybe? Well, I was about to say this thing was probably in the days when they were still marks, which is probably before your time because they did the Switch in 2000. Oh, it's Rolento's dumbass with his grenades and his like rod.
Why does Rolento like look really familiar?
He's in another Street Fighter game.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
I get the idea you've played a lot of Street Fighter games and other Capcom fighting stuff.
Like surprisingly little for considering what my interests are, but I've tried like many of them at some point in my life. I haven't like played through, I don't think, any Capcom beat 'em up, and I've always sucked at 2D fighting games.
No, so you're more of a 3D fighter kind of person?
Yeah, I'm mostly played Tekken and Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur 2 was my jam.
Nice. We used to play like Soul Calibur 4 with a friend of mine, and Tekken 5 and 6 as a kid.
No, I've been on a big GameCube kick last year, and one of the first things I got was Soul Calibur 2. That's the version that has Link in it.
Ah, yeah. Was it? It had like 3 different guest characters depending on what console you bought it on.
I also have a copy of the PS2 version and Heihachi's on that one.
Yeah, and on Xbox they had like Spawn, I think.
Yeah, Spawn.
That's a weird like choice to make, but I guess they didn't have like Xbox characters that would fit.
I mean, they couldn't exactly get Master Chief. Well, actually, they got.
Isn't Master Chief in Dead or Alive 4? I think.
No, it is Nicole something something something.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, it's not Master Chief, but it's a Spartan.
It's a Spartan, yeah.
Break glass.
Japan. Oh, sorry.
How do you? Okay.
We just gotta get on the correct plane.
Why do they keep spinning? Come on. Okay.
When you hit it the wrong angle, I think.
Right.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Sorry for the crunchy ASMR. I didn't get a chance to eat before stream, so I made some egg rolls.
Oh.
They've been like sitting here for like 42 minutes.
I see. Okay. Girls in the chat said Japan fucking loves Spawn. I've never heard of that.
Interesting. No, I collected Spawn comics back in the day. Somewhere I have a copy of Spawn #1.
Oh, nice. I remember.
Also Spawn #10, which he got sued over.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, that was a whole big thing. I'm also a comic nerd, surprisingly. Actually, surprising no one. So issue #10 is actually written by Neil Gaiman. And he created a lot of characters that were used in a lot of Spawn properties, and Todd McFarlane did not compensate him properly, because turns out artist not the greatest businessman. So the artist-driven business that was Image Comics, who knew? Oh, you dickhead! Actually, his head looks a little bit like a Johnson because it's bald. Anyway, and that's actually a really interesting issue, because basically Spawn, like,
excuse me.
It's sort of like an allegory for Todd McFarlane's life, and you at the very end of it, you see like Spawn coming in, and you realize he's a metaphor for Todd McFarlane, because he's talking to Todd McFarlane's wife and playing with Todd McFarlane's child. He's like acting like a normal family man, except it's Spawn, this terrifying hell creature in a giant like cape with a disco collar.
I remember I used to read like Spawn comics at my neighbor's place as a kid, because my parents totally wouldn't allow me to read them when I was like 6 or 7. And I remember that one comic with the, like, I think it was like a police officer, or like a high executive police officer who beat his own kids or something. And that left me with a lot of questions as a kid.
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of dark subject matter. I mean, like, Image was like very much trying to up the edge factor as compared to like other comics. It was a whole cascading effect that sort of came from Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns in the late '80s. So like, wow, comics can be like more adult and edgy and stuff like that. And meanwhile, like indie comic creators are like, hey, we've been doing that for years, assholes. Like I remember at a certain point, Art Spiegelman, who made Mouse, he was part of the thing to where he wanted them to call them comics with an X to sort of distinguish them from like mainstream comics.
Oh, I've heard that term used like somewhere at some point.
Yeah. I think they sort of transitioned over to graphic novels, which I think like is a good indicator of like sort of you're going for more of a prestige thing.
Yeah.
I
think like the Watchmen is still kind of misunderstood by a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they think like, hey, Rorschach is cool. It's like, no, he's not. He's about why moral absolutism sucks.
Yeah,
you just like him because he beats
like
the crap out of people and faces no consequences for it.
Like the whole thing, like superheroes that fuck and superheroes that kill. Like no,
Yeah.
but the whole story was about why how people with that amount of power get like really jaded and distanced from like normal human beings. Like the whole thing with the like when the giant squid attacks the city, and the newspaper seller and the kid die, but the music guy is like protecting the kid's body.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the most heartfelt moments in Watchmen.
Yeah.
Granted, there's not a ton of them in there, but
I think that's like highlighting the point of the comic. Like that there is humanity even if like people who have like a higher view of things don't see like the small good that humans do to each other. I don't know.
True. But then, you know, the actual history of the Watchmen comic is like people screwing each other over. Because basically, Alan Moore made this deal with DC where it was like, okay, they sort of he wanted to use these comics that DC had bought recently from Charlton Comics, but they're like, we might want to use those for something else. So he sort of made like ersatz versions of them. So like Dr. Manhattan is based on Captain Atom and stuff like that. So anyway, the deal was that like, so DC has the rights to these comics as long as like Watchmen is in print, and then at that point, hang on, I need that one. I gotta go. Alan Moore gets the rights to the characters back. DC has never let that comic go out of print ever.
Oh right.
Just to screw over Alan Moore. Yeah. I think the jump with two knives out pointing downward, I don't think that's like a valid weapons technique. I mean, but you know, who knows? I'm not familiar with knife fighting.
I don't think there's a lot of valid weapon techniques in this game, to be honest.
Nope. It's just what the artist thought would look cool. Same thing with the fashion. It's this weird blend of like 80s streetwear and like punk aesthetics and stuff. And these guys who are like, I don't know, wearing like, they look like one color onesies.
They look like kind of like a weird Native American vibe.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that's another thing that was not understood by the Japanese, because I'm actually friends with a few Native American VTubers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I actually got to know them through FinTubers. Shuniko's one of, so she's originally from Asia and then came to live in Finland. She was collabing with this Native American VTuber named the Res Dog, because their schedules matched, because he was working weird hours because he works at a casino. I just saw them streaming one day, and I kind of became friends with Rez.
Oh, nice.
And now we're like in a D&D game.
That's the thing with like VTuber community. It's just you get friends out of the weirdest places.
I know, and I love it. I absolutely love it because I don't know. There was this sort of thing about sort of like the pre-common internet era where you found someone who had common interests with you. It felt like you were like, it felt so amazing. Like when the first time you went to an anime convention, you're like, holy shit, there's people who love the same thing as me. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then like the VTuber community, it's like, oh wow, people who are also cartoons on the internet.
True. I remember I like got into VTubing or VTubers through I think Trash Taste like a couple of years ago when I saw the episode with Mori.
Calliope Mori, yeah.
And then I just started watching like random VTubers, and I started watching another fintuber, Iriella, if you
I'm aware of them.
And
the wonderful goblin tuber.
Yep, I started.
Who's into retro games?
Yep, I started visiting their chat like very frequently, and then I became a mod for them at some point. And then through modding for them, I started like being in other VTuber chats, and suddenly I'm friends with a lot of them.
How did it come into my thing? So I was like, all right, I want to be a VTuber because I saw Mori Calliope on Trash Taste, and then I found out about Iron Mouse, and Mori and Iron Mouse are my Oshis. I don't know, pink-haired women.
So you like Poison too here?
Not really. I mean, not my thing personally, but she's a little too out there. You know, there's a little bit of underboob going on when she backflips.
What? You don't like underboob? We can't be friends.
I like girls that are kind of modest, if that makes sense. Like one of my really sort of weird things is I think like one-piece swimsuits are sexier than bikinis.
Oh, right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'm weird that way.
Yes, this character used to be the actual devil in Street Fighter V. I think
Wow.
Abigail.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Abigail in Street Fighter V. He was like huge, like ridiculously huge for the
God,
whole screen.
He turned bright red just now.
He was like, I think he was like one head taller than most of the like big characters in Street Fighter V.
There's some big characters too, like Zangief. They always gotta have Zangief.
Yeah, but he like Abigail was way taller than Zangief.
Yeah. So that's obviously a thing.
Yeah. But yeah, like talking about VTubers, I didn't like even consider becoming a VTuber. At first, I was like content with just watching streamers, and most of them just happened to be VTubers. But I started making YouTube videos, and I didn't want to be in front of a camera.
Right.
So I started drawing myself and my girlfriend as like characters on the my videos, and then I realized that that's just basically being a VTuber. And then when I started streaming to get more footage for like videos, like gaming footage, I thought that maybe I'll just make myself like a VTubing character, so there's a bit more content on my stream. And then I made a PNG, became a VTuber.
Always the way to do it. My route was a little more circuitous to get to the FinTubers. Also, Giossi seems to be like a super duper Street Fighter expert.
Giossi is just super duper expert at pretty much anything. It's like a huge Pokemon nerd. Anytime I have a question about Pokemon, I just text Giossi and he knows pretty much anything.
Perfect.
Same with
Giossi,
a lot of Capcom games.
If you need to know anything about me, Giossi, my favorite Pokemon is Mimikyu. And my favorite Capcom game is probably the Alien vs. Predator game.
Oh. I don't think I've played
It's
the Alien vs Predator.
hey Long, how you doing? Ellen Koro, how you doing?
Hello.
Let's see. Top tier pick. Thank you, Jesse. But no, so it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but you play as a predator or as a cyborg.
That's interesting.
It's so fucking rad. I love it.
I don't think it's in
got,
this collection, right?
Oh no! If it is, I would have been like, "Let's start with this game. Let's start it. Let's start it. Let's do it right now."
Yeah,
because it takes
sense.
slightly longer to play than a lot of them because it's actually pretty long. And it's got interesting mechanics to it. Like you can use like actual like moves. Like you can use like a fireball motion and press a button and you'll do like, or you use the dragon punch motion and stuff like that. And you have guns in that game, but they're mechanically
now
limited,
I know
like,
why you like it so much.
Well, partly. The other is that you can like, and actually I don't play as a predator. I play as in Kurosawa, the tiny like Japanese cyborg lady. She's got a Wazashi, I think is the shorter one.
Wakizashi.
Wakizashi, thank you.
Yep.
She's got a Wakizashi, and I don't know, she's just rad.
It's fun.
Also, I use the word rad a lot unironically, so just be prepared for that.
Totally rad.
Totally rad.
I use epic unironically a lot, so it's fine.
No, it's definitely like I realize that, you know, people are of a certain age and you could kind of tell it based on their cultural references. Like,
true.
One of the things I found out about VTubers early on is that like a lot of them were part of the Vine generation. So you reference a Vine to a VTuber, it's generally a good way to kind of get on their good side culturally.
All right, yeah.
Like you hit someone and be like, "Fuck, I can't believe you've done this."
Right, yeah. That's actually like ADHD again. Funny story about how me and my like girlfriend started talking back in like kickboxing class was she and her friend were throwing a lot of like Vine references around, and I think like one of the first things I said to her was, "Hey Tumblr girls, please stop talking, we're trying to train." That's how we got to like talking to each other.
Yep. Well, you know, like boys tease girls. That's how they flirt. I mean, Granted, it's more of a grade school move, but it sounds like it worked. So
I guess it did. She's still kind of mad at me for saying she's a Tumblr girl, but we're living together, so it wasn't that bad.
And there you go. Of course, that's the thing. Like, like, do you get your girlfriend mad when you know she could, like, you know, do like a knee strike in your nuts really hard if you wanted to?
We never get physical, so I don't mind teasing her a bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I imagine practicing martial arts give you a somewhat higher level than of discipline a lot of times. So, yeah. Anyway, don't mean to like cast aspersions on your relationship or anything like that.
No, it's fine.
That's another thing I found about FinTubers is a lot more of them are in relationships than like a lot of other VTubers. Like,
really,
either that or they conceal the fact that they're in like relationships. Not FinTubers, but like other VTubers in general.
I guess there's like with at least like the bigger VTubers, like the ones with big corporations behind them, they're kind of like not allowed to talk about their personal relationship all that much.
Absolutely, like it's there. Like I'm fairly certain that like Gura from Hololive is married.
Right.
I'm also pretty sure she's from New Jersey just based on the way she talks. But I might be wrong. Plus, it gets a little parasocial. We all have reasons why we wear these masks. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of how I look personally, and I've always secretly wanted to be a cartoon since I was like a kid. So that's part of the reason that I do it. But like, I understand like wanting to keep your personal life out of it. Like, there's certain things that I like don't talk about because, you know, I believe in every life you should have like dividing lines between stuff. Like, I don't talk about being a streamer at work. Like I don't talk about it to like, you know, when I'm on the phone with somebody like a customer. A, because all of our phone calls are recorded. And they preserve them for at least a year, probably closer to 3. Because I believe that's like sort of like the legal time that you have to like hold on to documents and recordings and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah,
but-
I kind of have the same thing. Like, I don't talk about streaming at work, mainly because talking about like martial arts stuff to 6-year-olds is kind of weird.
Understandable.
And
are you like a teacher?
I'm a, what do you call it? Lastenhoitaja. So it's like a caretaker in a preschool.
Oh,
And that's,
you know who?
too, like, I don't talk about my work on stream because, you know, confidentiality towards kids and all that. But like in like vague terms, I can talk about like what kids have said and done. But I like to give them their like privacy and space.
That's awesome. I was about to say, you know who you have that in common with?
Yeah.
Hendu.
Oh right, yeah.
She's in the same working. Like, you guys could have like a kids say the darndest things stream.
I've written down like a lot of stuff that kids say. It's like the weirdest shit. But then I have to like be careful about not giving any like indicators away, like details away about who says what. What happened?
We were almost like dead at the same time, so we would have seen the continue screen, which is us sitting there with like a bundle of dynamite in front of us. And then when you put the quarter in it, like a knife drops and cuts off the fuse.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they had. That was another thing about these games. They had these continue screens where like the main character was like in distress, like in like Ninja Gaiden, the arcade game, when the continue screen was him like under a buzzsaw.
Or the one in, I think it's like, it's one of the bootleg Lion King games where Simba is like hanging from a noose or something.
Oh wow!
Or almost getting boiled alive, and then you have to continue.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And weird.
For like a bootleg Disney game, that's super odd.
Get the chicken.
Okay.
I was about to say you need the chicken. I do have these like oh yeah, this is the final boss. Oh, and he's running around with a freaking shotgun. Oh no, it's a
crossbow.
It's a crossbow.
Did I just punch the arrows out of the air? I did.
You did.
Hell yeah.
See, this is what I get for trying to actually like hit him. That Andor had a very short life bar. I think that was on purpose.
Probably.
God, can I not get a hit on this guy? The sounds they make, it's fantastic. Well, because they're probably like groans and grunts made by like people, staff, and voice actors and stuff, but they have to go into this like bizarre ass compression to fit on like the old 80s arcade boards.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make a like educated guess. He gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal that we can hear the thump when he falls down.
Yeah, that's physics. And like Hager comes in, he's like, I've been here the whole time. I got all the guys that you didn't.
Defenestration for the win.
God, defenestration is totally one of my like favorite words.
It's so
like
out of the box.
Yeah, and like back in the day when I was like a little kid, I was talking to other little kids, I would like do the edgelord thing of like, I'm gonna use a word they don't understand that means something horrible. It's like, you know what's awesome? You know what I like to do on weekends is defenestration, and they'd be like, that sounds fun.
Then
why is it looking at me like,
idiots.
I don't know, like you're like, yeah, I'm so much smarter, and I just proved it with a way you don't understand.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is like a weird Capcom thing where they like didn't actually give people real credits because they didn't want people to get poached from their company.
Oh yeah, the CBX and Pooh.
And Shin, yeah. It's like, come on, guys.
Cody.
I jump. Oh, what the fuck am I doing?
I guess he's mad that Cody gets the girl.
Or I was like, hey, talk to the girl, dipshit.
Cody's just too cool for school.
Not while evil still stalks the streets. It's like,
Oh,
listen, you can
Cody.
split time between beating the shit out of people and love, you know?
End. Game over. Okay. Guess we lost.
No, I think we were fine. Are you? I almost put in like my for reals initials. I was like, nope, let's not do that.
That's one of the things that I decided early on, that I'm just gonna use my like actual first name.
Right on. No, I mean, I'm not shy about it. I always introduce myself as Dan or Rudelad737 because it's a pretty common name.
Yeah, true.
Like if my name were like Giovanni. Yeah. So, all right, let's see if we can back it out to the main menu.
Hostess left it.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's I only use my real first name because it makes for a killer pun. Like just changing one letter from mixed martial art to mixed martial art.
No, I remember when you came onto the server, I was like, that's a cool ass name. So I think that's pretty great. Defenestration for the win. Yeah, it's the same in Mega Man. We throw Dr. Wily out the window because I'm okay with that. All right, let's create another lobby. All right, so you can, do you know any of these games at all?
No. Let's see what we have. There's like Battle Circuit. I've heard of Battle Circuit, never played it.
Battle Circuit's weird and awesome. You can be like a kid riding around on an ostrich, or I think like a superhero, or like a really kick-ass elf woman. Captain Commando is also similarly weird. You can be like, Captain Commando was actually, they had him in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh.
He was, and like, there's also like a baby piloting a mech, an alien mummy, and ninja.
Giossi says, I think I've played most of these on Fightcade. Okay. I don't think I've played... Like, I think I've seen Warriors of Fate somewhere, but genuinely don't remember. It sounds like a really, really familiar name, and the logo looks familiar.
It looks kind of like the Art of Fighting logo.
Oh yeah, true.
I was about to say Art of Fighting. That's a semi-obscure pull. That was for the Neo Geo.
Art of Fighting is... I think I've played it.
Its big gimmick back in the days, it would zoom in and out depending on how close you were to each other.
Ooh, right.
Do
you have like a one you would like to play right now?
I think Captain Commando is good because it's also weird. And then depending on how long it takes, I think we can probably finish out with Battle Circuit. That should give us like a solid 3 hours, unless you want to go longer.
Yeah, sounds good. At least as a start. Let's see how we're pairing after the 3 hour mark. I do have morning shift tomorrow, so I'm not gonna play for like super long today, but
yeah.
I think 3 hours gonna be fine.
Okay. And invite to game. All right. And I will ready up. Actually, you know what? Let me open up a drink, and then I will ready up. actually have a bottle. I have a bottle of cider in a koozie, which apparently, what I found out that was a foreign concept in Finland. So, like people don't over there don't use koozies.
Koozie?
It's like a little neoprene sleeve you put on your can.
Oh
kind of
yeah,
keep it
I've
cool.
seen them. I've never seen them used in Finland.
So the first fintuber I ever met in real life was Lumi. She was over here doing like a convention appearance, and she was like pretty close to where I was, in a city where like some of my relatives live. So I popped over, and I'm like, I popped over, and I'm like wearing I have my my sweatshirt in real life. So I popped up, and I'm like, "Huva hua menta," and she's like, "Who the hell are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, I want to thank you so much for starting the FinTuber server, and it like means a lot and stuff like that." And she's like, "Oh, thanks so much." And I brought her an entire case of a 12-pack of the American equivalent of Pepsi Max, which is called Pepsi Zero.
Uh-huh.
And I handed it to her. And I didn't think that like a 12-pack of soda is pretty heavy. And God bless Lumi. She was just kind of standing there. I will be Mummy Commando because he's my favorite.
What the fuck is Baby Commando?
He's literally a baby driving a robot.
I think I'll be Ninja Commando.
Yep, Ginzu the Ninja. Mostly done 5K. Anyway, so I handed her this, and she's, God bless her, trying to have a conversation with me while holding this heavy-ass thing of soda. Thankfully, Sifavella, Lewd Squirrel Trooper, was also there, because she had a table with Sifavella and Mary Dog.
All right.
And I was such a nerd. I had cards. Printed up, and I handed them to everybody. So anyway, Sif took it was like, give me that soda. She could tell that I was really socially challenged in the situation because, you know, Lumi's kind of a big deal, and it was sort of like anxiety-inducing meeting her. You can get in the robot if you want to. Get in the robot, Shinji.
Hell yeah. Motherfuckers. What does this remind me of? Oh, the like magic tech robots from Final Fantasy VI.
Yep.
Or 3 in America, I think it is.
Yeah, that was such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, and 3 is one of the classics. This is one of the ones that sells on like the original SNES cartridge for like, I don't know, $300 or some such shit.
Really?
Yeah, there's certain like rare Super Nintendo games that like sell for like crazy money. Like, Super Nintendo was my first console, so I know a lot about it. Also, the invincibility for this effect is cool. This game is cool. You like sort of trail shadows of yourself.
Oh, nice. I'd like Ginzu
the Ninja
a lot more if he didn't hold his sword in reverse grip.
So I was about to say, you don't like the guy from The Force Unleashed either? He holds his lightsaber in a reverse grip.
I love Force Unleashed and I love Starkiller as a character, but I hate reverse grip.
Just because it's like, is it like impractical in real life?
Yeah, it's like it makes no sense in any situation. The only thing you can do is with a reverse grip is if you have a knife, like a short knife, then you can do like overhead stabs. But like other than that, there's no reason to use a reverse grip in any situation. It shortens your range and it's awkward. It limits your like angles of attack and.
See, I think like it showed up in video game characters because designers think it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same reason that like my guy is wearing a shoulder holster even though he's using knives. Like shoulder holsters are one of those things that like everyone thinks looks super cool, but not a lot of cops actually use because they're just like really restrictive and fucking heavy. And most of them tend to use belt carry. And they don't carry around like gigantic magnums. They carry around like fairly easy to conceal like automatics. Semi-automatics, I should say. Sorry. That's a gun thing that drives me crazy is when people get semi-automatic and automatic confused.
I genuinely don't know the difference.
So semi-automatic is like you pull the trigger once, you get like one fire of the gun. Fully automatic is you hold down the trigger and then you like it gets you it keeps going until the magazine runs out. So semi-automatic is stuff like a Glock, and fully automatic is stuff like, you know, a machine gun.
All right, okay.
Of course, there's also fully automatic Glocks, but that's like a level of like, you know, nerdiness we don't need to get into. Because I can get like fairly nerdy about some kinds of firearms. I'm not like super well versed. Like there's certain Smith & Wesson automatics I don't know a lot about. I'm also not like super well versed on different versions of the 1911, which is the classic like American 45 auto from the World War II.
I think I've ever shot like 3 different guns.
I was about to say you're the RK. What is it?
RK62 and
really
RK95, I think was the one.
I was about to say a Valmet is the only AK I would own personally. But yeah, you can't actually get Valmets in the US because there's like import bans on certain kinds of guns.
All right. Then I shot one pistol at one point. I got to shoot like a couple rounds. I think it was like, what is it? M9?
Yeah, the Beretta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last U.S. military handgun. That's the one that my dad used for most of his military career. They transitioned over from the 1911, I think in like 86, because they had like the 1911 since 1911. But they needed to kind of standardize on something that shot the 9mm round.
Is it really that old? Like from 1911?
Yeah, it's literally that old.
Well, it feels like a I don't know. I have this like skewed view of technology in that sense that I feel like in like 1911 things shouldn't have been that like technologically advanced. So, like of course they were. I don't know.
Oh yeah. There were some weird ass autos from like the 1900s. I mean, like you just needed to look at some forgotten weapons things. That's what I say. Speaking of guns, it looks like a water gun someone painted gray.
I have a.
You have a dizzy gun. Hang on, I was going to move out of the way, and I'll get that guy for you.
You.
Oh yeah, another thing about the Alien vs Predator game we mentioned earlier. You could like. There were so many different guns. Like, there were the guns your character carried, but you could also pick up stuff like pulse rifles and flamethrowers and shit like that.
That's
and a smart gun. Yeah, all the guns from Aliens. Notice these guys are just like Ginzu's sprite with a different head and different coloration.
Was his name Sasuke?
I believe it was. Thankfully, he didn't use any fire jutsu on us, and he didn't try to tell us about his backstory.
My entire family got killed by my brother.
But it turned out to be some kind of scheme to save the world or some such shit. I don't know.
I genuinely liked Naruto back in like the original arc when it came down to Shippuden. It's just, I don't know. It kind of lost its touch.
Yeah, no, I genuinely thought the Chunin fights were really hot. Like, I was about to say my man from that show is Rock Lee. I love that guy. Like, I think like most like genuinely actually practicing martial artists probably favor Rock Lee a little bit because he fucking had to work for what he had.
The whole like talent versus hard work.
Yeah,
it's always a like conversation in martial arts circles. Jesus Christ! I got cut in half.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the game. This is also.
I didn't expect that.
Oh yeah. Also, if you dash and then like attack, I think you shoot a flamethrower. Or not. There's something you do that like lets you shoot a flamethrower. That's Captain Commando's whole gimmick. He like shoots stuff out of his gauntlets.
Oh, okay.
I also got cut in half. That must be hell in your health insurance.
No, I chose Ginza. I was meaning to
Don't
take
worry.
Captain Commando again.
Or you can be the baby in the robot.
No, I don't want to be a baby in a robot. Like, that's actually an interesting conversation I usually talk about with people that play like Souls games, or basically any game where you can customize a character, or create your own character. I never understand why people make like the butt ugly characters in Souls games. I always had this feeling like if I want to play a game like an action game, any kind of game like that, I want to play as something that makes me feel cool. And looking like Shrek doesn't make me feel cool at all.
I think some people do it because they love they're sort of goofy and like for the meme and stuff like that. Me, I've only played one Souls-like game, and that is of course Bloodborne, which rocks. In my opinion, anyway.
I've never played Bloodborne like all the way through, but for the parts I've played, it's like an amazing game.
I'm stuck on Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. She kicked my ass so many times.
That was actually the first thing I tried in Bloodborne. Like, I went to a friend's house and he was like, "Hey, you want to play Bloodborne?" I was, "Sure." And he sent me straight to Lady Maria.
No, one of my favorite tweets I ever made was just, "Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower stole my lunch money." That's gay. No, this is before Naruto even existed. But no, that like my character for that game, I made her look like Kaguya from Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Oh, right.
With like the red eyes, and then I put like a sweet set of sunglasses on her.
I usually, at first when I play a Souls game, I just play it like normally through.
Yeah.
Like trying like the best builds and like using the best weapons and all that. The second playthrough is the first playthrough is always like about lore. I want to know the story, and the second one is usually about like finding out the best weapons and best tactics to use in the game. And the third one is fist only. I love trying to beat like the super hard bosses with just fist weapons, because they have the like shittiest range imaginable in like Souls games.
Yep.
That's kind of why I don't know, I don't like Bloodborne as much as I would like it, because it has
weapons.
Yeah, it has one. It's the weird like rock gauntlet, but it has one move, because it like I think it goes in place of your gun.
Yeah. Yeah, it is mostly weapons in this game. I went for a dex build at first, but one of the things about that game is there's the chalice dungeons, which are essentially like...
Yeah, I'm the baby now.
Baby.
Baby.
It's really funny when the baby's driving a mech, because he's a robot driving a robot.
The baby's a robot.
Yeah, he's driving a mech.
Oh, right, yeah, when you go for the mech. I thought you meant like the baby itself is a robot.
No, that would kind of be hilarious. No, he's just
with 3 robots in.
Elden Ring fist weapons kind of broken, says GOC. I haven't played it.
I wouldn't say they're broken. Like, they're a lot more effective than they were in previous games, but they're a lot better weapons than the fist ones. They are super good, and like Elden Ring is definitely the easiest of the Souls games to play with a fist weapon moveset. But I genuinely love Dark Souls 2 fist weapons. They have the best animations out of like any Souls game. I love them so much I made a whole video gushing about it.
Awesome.
It's like it's the only Souls game where the fist weapon movesets look realistic, but they don't sacrifice like range or like effectiveness for it.
Does it look like they mocap somebody?
Well, almost. Like not like really, but they're good enough that you like believe that the character has trained at least a little bit of like some hand-to-hand combat.
Right on.
Is this the like end boss?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's the boss for this particular level.
Yeah.
I mean, not of the whole game. That
No,
would be very
but yeah,
disappointing.
like this level.
Yeah, yeah. We got. Oh, cool. We got him fast.
Hell yeah. Speedrun!
And then he turned into a Muppet at the very end.
Now I'm kind of angry because the baby has a really like solid moveset.
I know. And his super attack is him just like shooting explosives out of his knees.
How do you do super attacks?
You hit jump
right,
and
yeah,
attack at the same time. Mine is like I turn into a top of death.
Neat. How many times can you do that?
Well, it drains your health bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it was back in the day. Like you would use your desperation move so you didn't get beat up too badly.
But that doesn't matter since we don't need to use coins, so I can just sacrifice mine.
Yep.
Can
Honestly,
I kill myself with the move, or no? It just doesn't let me use it anymore.
It doesn't let you use it.
Rip to baby. Power bomb. Okay, I'm gonna be a mech in a mech.
Yeah. Yes. Exception.
Yeah. Since you've played Bloodborne, what is the hardest boss in Bloodborne? Genuinely hardest.
I mean, I haven't gotten. There's like one boss after. There's one boss after Maria that's apparently like crazy. Called the Orphan of Kos.
Oh,
that's
right.
Apparently like. That's apparently bonkers, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm trying to think of like the boss that I had like the most trouble with. Like, thing was like this was before Elden Ring released, so if you needed help on a boss, like there's an item that like lets you call for help. So when I hit a really hard boss, I would call for help, and like one or two people would show up immediately, and they would be like really high level and just like whip the boss's ass for me.
All right.
Then Elden Ring came out, and no one would show up. So
people got kind of tired of the multiplayer in Elden Ring.
Yeah, because
there was the problem with like getting jumped by higher level.
Yeah, griefers.
Players. Yeah.
I'm like, does this give you some kind of weird sexual satisfaction? This is strange.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are people who just genuinely like being little shits. We call those people 15-year-olds.
That's why I played. When I first played Elden Ring, I played it offline, like the whole way through.
I think we got the Stroms. Yeah, that's the other thing about Capcom games is they will recycle their bosses like crazy. You know, they never loved Medicare. They didn't love palette swapping 15 times.
Yeah, it's like the difficulty is now there's two of them.
Yep. And they're called like Strom Junior.
Generally, talking about Bloodborne, what is it, Ludwig?
Ludwig, yeah.
Yeah.
He's someone I definitely got help with.
one of the coolest boss music of like any game ever.
Yeah, and like I think he also has the best like turns red moment. So that's a TV tropes thing. Turns red is like when the boss like goes into like hyper mode.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I have this giant great sword, and I'm a titanic monster. I'm going to use this
Ludwig
giant
the
great
Holy
sword.
Blade like transformation is amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the best, and that's in like the fucking DLC.
Yeah, like genuinely sends chills down my spine. First time I saw it, like so good.
I turned it into, I'll be him for a little while, and then switch back to my man Mac. Because Mac, I thought Mac the Knife was the coolest when I was like 10 years old, and I'm like, I still think he's cool. What does that say about me as a person?
You're a big 10-year-old?
Quite possibly. I mean, I'm like a 10-year-old times 4. There we go. I mean, I'm definitely not the most mature person because, like, I found out that, like, all right, so do you know what Centurions are?
Centurions? Like the
toy?
Roman...
No, there was a toy called Centurions. Basically, the whole... And they were of course a TV show too. That was the thing in the 80s. If there was a toy, it had a TV show. And there was a TV show, it had a toy. Centurions were basically like you could snap different weapon systems onto these figures. They were like 7.5 inches tall, which I don't know what that is in centimeters. Sorry.
7.5. It's like 3 times that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So like around 21 centimeters.
Just about. Anyway, you could snap different weapon systems onto them, and I really like, and that's a toy my mom got me as a kid. Like, and she had a whole presentation of it too. Like, me and my brother were like at preschool or something like that, and she like, here, come on with me, boys. She came out to the back, and she like popped open the trunk of her car, and like they had the Centurions in it, and me and my brother were like, oh, so awesome.
That's so cool.
Ninja with a machine gun. All right. Anyway, so I found out that there's this company that makes this like bootleg version of them.
Oh.
Like it's very obviously they're different molds. They're not like actually copying the original molds or anything like that, but they're the same style, same colorations, and the names of the characters are very, very similar, and the weapon systems look almost identical. I'm like, these look pretty cool. I'm like, they're $100, but I'm like, but they look pretty cool. But no. There's this thing I have, sort of rule I have with myself called the grown ass man line, which is basically, you have to like stop, you have to like sort of stop yourself, and you're like, do I really need this? Is this just like my childish impulse-driven self now that I have like grown-up money wanting to buy something that's totally useless? So I was like, I really want these, but I can't justify it to myself.
I have the like same problem, but I also don't have enough money to buy a lot of stuff, so I never have the problem of like having to justify myself anything. I just don't buy them.
Yeah.
Because then I wouldn't have money for food.
Yeah, no. I'm making reasonable money, and I'm living at my dad's house, and he is charging me rent, but it's not very bad.
Oh, cool.
So my dad isn't here either, so... Anyway. I mean, it is one of those nice things I can, like, stream until, like, 3 o'clock in the morning if I feel like it.
That's probably the only problem with having a girlfriend, is that if I stream way too late, it like bothers her, and I don't want to bother her.
Yeah, no, like there's
that's like a really tiny issue to have.
Yeah,
in terms of like having a good relationship otherwise. So I don't care. I just don't stream too late.
Yeah, just then having a loving, supportive partner, I think, kind of worth it.
Yeah, totally.
A loving, supportive partner can be like, honey, where's the wrap? My hand is a little sore after doing those punch exercises. And she'll be like, it's in the cupboard.
Yeah.
No, like having like things in common with your significant other, that is like such a big deal. Like having stuff you can enjoy together. Gravity.
That was a weird thing to happen. Like, dude just dips down.
Yeah, and then he like.
His name's Blood.
Yep. And he looks synthetic, so I don't think blood was born.
Shut up. he kind of looks like his arms are like really tanned, so he usually has a tank top on, I guess, because his like midsection is a lot lighter in tone.
I think he's supposed to have like robot arms.
All right, I just thought he was like a gym rat.
Or he had like a trucker tan.
Yeah.
Well, actually, trucker tan would be like his upper arms would be paler, and it would only be on one side.
Like the one arm that's out the window.
Yep. I was about to say because I think trucker culture probably isn't as much of a thing in Finland because, you know, with a dedicated driver, you could probably get through the up and down the country in like a day or two.
In a day, pretty much. I think Finland is only 1,200 kilometers across, like from top to bottom.
Which is like it's 1.6 clicks to the mile, so it's not exactly a 2-to-1 conversion. Yeah, that's the thing. Like if I was ever like living in Finland,
Geos says 800 miles. Okay.
800 miles. Yeah, you can do that in a day, but it's a push. I could generally do about 500 to 600 miles in a day if I'm really humming.
I remember my parents drove like, I don't think like 700 miles in one day. I think the conversion is to bring my brother or something from across the country and then drive back home during the same day. So that's I wouldn't do that.
Well, yeah. Plus, if they were going together, they could like switch off.
Yeah, the thing is they didn't.
Oh.
It was just my dad driving.
I think it is worse when you're driving alone, though.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah,
it's a lot easier to stay awake if you have somebody there.
But yeah, there's like truckers in America who like the back half of the cab will be like a little place for them to sleep, and they'll like pull over to a rest area and sleep, and then like drive for days at a time.
Yeah, like the truck sizes compared to Finland is crazy. The American trucks.
America.
Proper trucker trucks are like huge. It's ridiculously big.
Yeah, semi trucks are giant. I also don't like regular trucks that are in America because they've just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh.
Like, I bought a car recently, and it took me a while to find exactly what I wanted because I wanted specifically like an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicle because I possibly eventually want to move to Minnesota, which is like more icy. It's the environment is more like Finland than where I am now.
Yeah, I guess that's why many Finnish people moved to Minnesota back in the day.
That's kind of why I want to live there too. Like my mom passed away about 3 years ago, and ever since then I've kind of wanted to get closer to my Finnish heritage, which is why I kind of got into VTubing, especially since I met so many people in the Finnish VTuber community. Anyway, it's so I looked around. I originally wanted to get like a Toyota Tacoma, 2000 to 2004 Toyota Tacoma. Oh yeah,
There's double. Okay.
yeah. He cloned us. So doppelganger, double goer from the German. Damn it, he melted me.
Should we like switch? I'll beat your doppelganger and you beat mine.
Well, now we got next turn.
Oh no. Well, We'll
Now
just
you can beat up the
everybody.
ninja you don't like.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna fuck him up. Excuse me, language. I'm gonna heck him up.
Yeah, heckin' that. No, I don't. I cuss a bit. I mean, like, as long as we don't cuss like every single other word, I think we're fine.
There's the weird thing with Finnish people is when you tell somebody that, like, to mind their language, someone always has to yell like, they yell is ei kiroilla saatana. This is just like basically like, stop cursing you fucker.
Hey, watch your fucking
Satana
language.
is one of those like interesting curse words. It's just basically Satan.
Yeah,
And it acts the same way as fuck. I think that's the closest thing.
Same kind of thing with perkele.
Yeah, true.
Like, there's this one really great patch that Vatostelka makes, which is like the Finnish flag, but it's like also the word perkele. That's like my banner on Twitter. Anyway, like I got a bunch of them and I tried to give one to my dad and he's like, no, your mother hated that word.
Hated? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, my mom is like a very clean-cut lady, somewhat religious.
All right, okay.
She's also a nurse. When I found out about the Finnish tradition of like right before Easter, like the Easter witches, I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. How come Mom never told us about this? And I'm like, yeah, probably because Mom was kind of religious and didn't have the biggest sense of humor about religion.
That makes sense. Talking about curse words, like Finnish curse words, it's kind of interesting, like the generational gap in using different curse words.
Yeah,
because like perkele, for example,
there's a bunch of like people like in the background watching us being like, cool. Like, there's a guy connected to a bunch of tubes with like girls all over him.
That's fine. I just love imagining like the baby and Captain Commando walking through like this super bougie place with like guys attached to tubes with girls and talking about Finnish curse words while beating up a bunch of goons. But yeah, the thing about Finnish curse words is like...
Yeah, no, so like definitely like, is it the thing where like people of like say your granddad's generation won't like curse at all, and then like people of your parents' generation will curse a little bit, and then people of like your generation will like curse like sailors.
Yeah, and like it's interesting the use of different curse words has like changed, because perkele isn't like nearly as used anymore, like among the youth. Like people at like junior high level, like 13 to 15-year-olds, I never hear perkele, but they always use like the I don't think like more modern words or something like vittu.
Voi vittu.
That's like used as like almost a comma in the middle of sentences.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, this is the last guy. I think he floats. Yep.
Okay. Scumocide? Scumocide?
Scumocide.
What does that mean?
It's sort of like a combination of the word scum and the words like suicide, self-deletion. I don't know if like Twitch tags words like YouTube does.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've heard so many. I hear so many people like using these weird euphemisms like self-deletion or
I fucking hate it. Like unaliving and all that. It's just like really weird censoring of things that should be allowed to talk about.
Like YouTube's like moderation is like 99% done by AI now,
and it does it really poorly.
And the thing about the algorithm is it's gotten to the point where like even the people who run YouTube don't understand how it applies.
True.
And it's gotten so ingrained in the system.
If some like YouTuber gets like strikes in their videos for something like that, and it's a real hassle to try to like contact YouTube, and they might not even know what caused the like tagging of a video.
Yeah, and there's like words that like get you like sort of shadow banned for certain videos and delisted and demonetized. And someone basically like did a lot of hard research and compiled them, and it's like a lot of like words talking about like gay culture and stuff like that
Yeah.
will like get you demonetized, and it's like, what the hell?
Oh, by the way, Vampalot says it could be scum and genocide. Yeah, that
Also true.
might be it.
Hey, Vamp. I've collabed with Vamp a couple times doing
nice. Welcome.
rock and stone stuff.
Oh. Rock and stone.
Rock and stone.
We're rich.
We're rich.
Mushroom. The one thing I love almost as much as martial arts is dwarves.
Dwarves, right on.
Like dwarves in any media, I love dwarves. It might have something to do with me being a short guy myself, though.
I guess we're Mutt and Jeff then, because like I'm 188 centimeters tall.
All right, I'm
Like-
170, like exactly
Hey.
170.
Yeah, but I have all the faith you could probably shoulder throw me if you liked, if you needed to.
Well, I did train for quite a while with like 100-kilogram people, but I wouldn't say I can throw anybody anymore. It's been
Fair
a
enough.
while. I'd say I'm more of a scholar now.
LOTR Return to Moria is fun, says Vamp.
I've been meaning to try that. It's just there's way too many games.
Yeah, that
I have like 200 games in my Steam library, and I played, I think, 80% of them.
God, yeah, no. I mean, I bought so many games for like the recent Steam sale and stuff like that, but I'm like, you still haven't played like 40% of the games.
Yeah. I bought like the first 4 or 5 Hitman games recently. I haven't played any of them yet. What are you doing?
Sorry, I was taking another bite of egg roll.
No, go ahead. We got through a second game. Should we go for one more?
I think that would be good because it takes about 45 minutes to
Maybe we'll have a small break before we start the next one.
Sounds like a good idea. So I'll run about how long of a break do you need?
I think like 5 minutes. Just
5
a
minutes?
little
Okay.
like toilet break and get something to drink and all that.
Works for me. I'll go ahead and run 3 minutes worth of that. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks. Hold on for just a moment. And we will be back real soon.
Yep. BRB.
BRB. Hey, all right. I'll go back into the game.
Okay, we're back.
Hey, everybody. We are back from our bruff break. I managed to get down the last of the egg roll, and it was delicious.
Cool, yeah. I've almost finished my chocolate.
Yep, I don't mind John for a little bit while you get finished. I figure we can like save the ska talk for the next game since we did promise it and we haven't like talked about ska at all.
There's so much martial arts stuff to talk about, and VTubing.
And gun stuff and just so much. No, it is genuinely fun yapping with you, my dude.
Hell yeah. I think we definitely have to do this again another time.
Absolutely.
Get through the rest of the games later.
Yeah, no, and I'm also good running together like on a well, I was about to say I don't know if you have a PS4 and a capture card, so I don't know if we can play Bloodborne or not.
Unfortunately, no. The newest console I own is 360.
I was about to say I've got a 360, but I don't know if you have a capture card. That's the thing.
No, I don't.
Yep. Okay. So let's go ahead and close it out with Battle Circuit because I've never actually finished this one before, but
Really?
it's like, yeah, it's like the weirdest game that Capcom kind of put out from this area. It's sort of one of the last side-scrolling beat 'em ups they put out. Let me go ahead and
Sounds fun.
all right, let's go ahead and start the game, and then
Let me just
in.
join game session. You don't even have to send me the link.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
Kill. Oh, look, there's all the fighting characters from the games.
Hell yeah.
I was about to say, next time we can definitely play the game where you're a bunch of mechs in a fighting game like this.
Oh. Which one is it?
I think Armored Battle or Battle Machines or something like that.
That sounds fun.
Let's see.
Oh, we got only 9 seconds. Oh no. What are these characters?
Yeah, it's super weird.
I'm Cyber Blue.
Yeah, the superhero dude. I'm the kid. I'm the kid riding what appears to be a oh my god, a cassowary.
Holy shit, that background makes my head spin. You left me no choice. Shut up.
This is like the start of
Boop, 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 boop.
Did character say nya?
Battle download gauge. Okay. Get. I don't know. What's the deal with like Japanese fighting game characters and throwing backflips as like kicks?
I'm assuming it's not something that's all that practical at all ever.
I don't think it's like any martial art throws backflips as like kicks, because at the point where you've like went through with the kick, like there's no need for the backflip anymore. It doesn't like give you anything. It's from Tokusatsu, if I remember correctly, says Geossi. Yeah, I guess that's reasonable.
Yeah. I like that Tokusatsu has just become like, let's see, price 81.
What? Hyper Tornado.
I hate the fact that there's time limits on everything, but I guess it's, an arcade game.
I have no idea how I like do these special moves. I keep shooting beams and gliding across the screen, and
Hell yeah.
like talking about the backflip. I think the closest any style has is and like the butterfly kick from wushu, some wushu styles. But that's like vertical spinning. Wait, horizontal spinning, not vertical.
I'll get these guys. You grab the money.
Okay. Yep.
We got to be equitable. I mean, I'm a little bit communist on my mother's side, which is actually true. My mother's father was a Karelian refugee and a communist firefighter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, they met actually during the Karelian evacuation following the Winter War. Although I've been told it's a fairly common story in Finnish families.
And like, to be fair, my like surname is one of the most like common ones in Finland because it's straight out of like just meaning a Karelian person.
So you've got a little bit of Karelian background yourself?
I guess from like who knows how many generations ago.
No, there's a fair few people with Karelian background in the Fintubers. Our Ghastly Arachnid, or as I call him, Spider. He's pretty out and proud about his Karelianness. And Henu also is Karelian. For a while, I was thinking like maybe we can do like a Karelian like unit, like how they have like units with corporate VTubers.
Yeah.
Something like that, but like I don't know. I think that's less necessary in sort of the indie scenes.
Yeah,
sort of like
I kind of. That's the reason I like indie VTubing scene. It's just people doing their own thing, doing what they like without like worry of needing to fit any kind of mold.
I know. Well, that's the thing I love about VTubing is everyone can kind of be their true self.
Yeah.
I think that's why it honestly attracts a lot of trans folks and gender fluid folks and agender folks, because it's like you don't have to be like what your physical forms tell society that you are. You can be who you really are.
Yeah, true. It's kind of like weird with my like hyper interest being martial arts, and martial arts being like traditionally really masculine like hobby.
Yeah.
So sometimes the people I get in my like streams don't really line up with my like personal opinions of stuff, even though like we all have the same interest of martial arts. And then I can kind of have to ban people because they start being obnoxious about certain things.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that, and I personally think it's important that people can sort of like be comfortable to be themselves, especially like in sort of like the environment that we're in, like online and stuff like that, because a lot of people, I think like Mike Tyson sort of put this best into words. It's like people are not scared of getting their ass kicked these days, so like they'll say shit online and sometimes shit in real life that like back in the day people would not. Sure. And that's sort of a double-edged sword in that like holy people can sort of be. You're glowing now. You're glowing with power.
Apparently.
But yeah, I believe that people should be their true self, as long as it doesn't hurt other people. If your true self is an asshole that like is a bigot, hey, maybe like don't be your true self all the time, because you need to understand that how you are and what you do hurts people. And that's something I constantly worry about myself. It's like am I acting in a way that, hurts other people, either emotionally or, financially, or hopefully I don't act in a way that, since I spend most of my time indoors, I don't act in a way that hurts people physically. I don't think.
Yeah, that would be kind of an achievement in and of itself.
I mocked her so hard on the internet, she got cramps. But no, that would be an achievement, a very dark achievement.
That's actually like what? It made me dance. There's this like issue with like online bullying, and some people are like, just turn off the screen. But like such a big part of people's lives is online these days. It's kind of stupid to just say like, just turn off the screen. Hey, how about you're not being an asshole? That's like a lot easier to do.
That's like using abstinence as birth control.
Yeah.
Theoretically, it works, but it's not really practical.
Yeah, it's like I don't know why we like have to keep finding ways to avoid getting bullied instead of just not fucking bullying people. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, don't walk on the sidewalk. A car might get over it and run you over. Is it the car's fault?
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't blame the car that much. And it's just like, what the fuck? Anyway, that was a weird metaphor.
This reminds me of Battletoad section.
Thankfully, it's not completely impossible.
I've never personally played Battletoad, and I kind of never want to. It looks horrible.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It's like, how to put it? It's like this very specific era of Nintendo games where they're making them really hard because they thought it was value for money.
Yeah, at that point it's just not only about like being hard, it's unfair at times.
Yeah, like, well, Mega Man 2 in places is fucking impossible. Like, speaking of another Capcom game,
I have the Mega Man collection too. I should play it at some point, probably.
I think I have like the Mega Man collection for like the GameCube.
Let's try the silver.
He looks like an
he
extended
looks
guy.
ugly.
He looks like Spike Spiegel in like a onesie. Because Spike Spiegel was all arms and legs.
That's true. It's just this, like, outfit design is so fitting for the character. But this, I don't know. This looks like a human version of Ava from Evangelion.
Yep. Oh, by the way, brief tangent about Marvel Rivals. Did you notice that Penny Parker, her mech looks exactly like Ava Unido 2?
Oh yeah, I saw that. I haven't played Marvel Rival myself, but
me neither.
I saw the like design. I was like, there's some weebs in the designer team.
And like her outfit looks like a one of the Ava suits.
Mm.
I'm just like, this lady is one big homage. She's nothing like the Penny Parker from the
Into the Spider-Verse
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's a tokusatsu explosion.
Oh, yeah.
At the background.
I love how deliberately weird this game is. Like, my bird, for no reason, has an eye patch.
Oh, right. I didn't even see that. Jesus.
It's like, my bird is Solid Snake. I guess I have no money.
Geossi says, I used to be able to beat Mega Man 2 hitless. See, I told you Geossi is just like a fucking pro at every video game.
No, and I remember how hard Mega Man is. I used to play it like on the NES back in the day. Although, really, Mega Man X is more my jam.
Mega Man X is so good.
The Super Nintendo was our first console. And Mega Man X was the right level of difficulty until you got to Sigma, who was a motherfucker. It took me like until like college to be able to beat Sigma without using the fireball.
I don't think I've ever played Mega Man X through. I love the style, like the art style and the music of the game.
One of my favorite pieces of chiptune music is just the password music. It's so good. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I would just boot up the game and just go to the password screen and listen to the password music. And my mom came in once and was like, "Are you playing?" And I'm like, "I just really love this music." And she's like, "Okay."
I actually had the same happen with Final Fantasy IX. Have you played Final Fantasy IX?
No, I haven't played a lot of the Final Fantasy games.
Okay, there's this. It's like an optional area called Secret Library Daguerreo. But there's just this really relaxing like piano tune. Or was it acoustic guitar? I'm not. I don't remember anymore. But I used to listen to that like all the time. I just left the game on and like drew or did homework or something.
Thankfully, now there's 10-hour YouTube loops.
Hey.
The one I've actually been jamming on recently is the underwater music from Donkey Kong Country.
Oh. I never played Donkey Kong. It's a bit before my time.
Donkey Kong Country is great because they basically they made the they made 3D models, but then they converted them into sprites. So like the graphics are like really clean, but they're also sort of pixelated at the same time, and it just looks cool.
I love those like classic video game like innovations.
Oh yeah, like Mode 7 graphics.
Oh hell yeah. Mode 7 still looks, I don't know, like surprisingly good for its time.
Yeah, like if you go back and play like Star Fox, that game still cooks.
Yeah. Like the original Star Fox.
Yeah. And actually there was a sequel that they made that they actually ended up releasing on the what was it? The mini Super Nintendo. That's a giant ass apple.
I guess it says the Sigma stages in X suck so bad.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're like, I remember the first Sigma stage in Mega Man X. Like, there's this crazy ass jumping sequence, like with all these. Oh, I guess that was your super attack.
I guess.
Mine's just like Mac the Knife, strangely. Yeah, like it was this crazy jumping puzzle between platforms. And you had guys coming at you. Luckily, there was one of the things they came up with in Mega Man X was you could get super parts. You can get super armor, super helmet, super boots, and a super Mega Buster. And wow, we were just beating the shit out of that guy.
Bullying.
Give me your lunch money. Now give me your mom's lunch money. Now give me your brother's lunch money. Now give me the lunch money for your entire family.
You got cousins?
Yeah. It's mine now.
What's with the dress? That's a weird super
it's like,
to have. This like badass cat girl, and then she goes, "Oh." This game is just like all around super weird.
I know, I love it, and it's sort of
fun.
it's sort of the evolution. Like we've basically been through a quote unquote fighter's history of Capcom. Because Final Fight was their first big side-scrolling beat 'em up, and then like Captain Commando was them like trying to sort of brand, because like they were trying to make Captain Commando their mascot character for a while.
You want to take the apples?
Oh. Eh. I love also that we're beating up the same guy over and over again.
Maybe he should stop doing bad things. Say hello to Octopus. That's a sentence. Oh, we were supposed to talk about ska music.
Oh yeah. So I kind of got into ska around 1996 when it kind of broke into the mainstream. Specifically, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the impression that I get. And my brother found out about the genre, and I got really into it. And he kind of moved on, kind of like into hip hop and math rock in college. Meanwhile, I just kept listening to ska. Starting in college, I went to like so many ska shows, so many. And I haven't. Well, I'm trying to think the last ska show that I went to. The last one I remember was a while back, like maybe 10 years. It was actually seeing Real Big Fish in Richmond. But it was weird because like Scott had like just left the band, I think, or I hadn't seen him since Scott left the band, and it's a totally different experience seeing them now that like Scott's not in the band anymore.
It's interesting. Like, I have this issue with most of the things I'm interested in. Is that I've never gotten like super deep into pretty much anything other than martial arts. And then I every time I talk to people who are like a bit more into the things I like or enjoy, like pretty casually, I learn so much in like such a short amount of time, and I always feel like kind of a poser. Like,
No, don't.
you know, I like really like ska music, but I don't know anything about the ska scene itself.
There was Scott, like Stan Lee once said, every comic book is someone's first comic book. You always got to start somewhere. So I'm not a fucking gatekeeper. Well, I do my best not to be a gatekeeper because I was definitely that guy back in the day.
Yeah.
But you know, if you can double jump the nay, yeah, let's go with that. And it tells you how to do the moves when you buy them, but I don't think it ever tells you how to do them again.
I kind of always forgot to check how to do the move. Jesus Christ, that baboon is ugly.
Yes, it is.
Is that a Nazi knight? Oh, it's not. It's not a swastika.
Looks pretty close though. It may be one of those things they changed for the U.S. market.
Might be. Yeah, like my like first. I really like the cat girl. For reasons.
I was about to say a lot of people do, and I don't blame them.
But yeah, like my first introduction to ska music, like ska-punk music, is probably Goldfinger Superman from
Tony Hawk.
What is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1?
Yep.
Back in the day, and just
that song's a fucking banger.
It is. I just never, as a kid, I never learned what the music style is called. I just really liked the like song. And then when I was like, I think in high school, like 17, 18-year-old, I found through, you know, the YouTuber Tomska.
Tomska, yeah.
Yeah. I found Streetlight Manifesto from like one of his like talks about ska music, I guess. And then I started like getting into like listening to Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake and all that.
Oh yeah, no, love Less Than Jake. I was telling you before a stream, I've seen them 20 times. They're all good. And no, I have seen a ska show since I saw that Real Big Fish show. I've been to like Ska Fest, like where Mustard Plug played, and the Pie Tasters.
I'd really like to go to like something like that someday, but it's just not a lot of ska shows in Finland.
I was about to say, if you ever come to the U.S., I'll take you to a ska show. I'll take you shooting.
Hell yeah.
I was about to say, I'll show you what I'm doing right now, which is my culinary experience where I'm like essentially aging a steak in honey.
Oh, you said that that talked about that on Discord earlier.
Yeah, there's pictures. I need to send them to you. I found out that like the steak floats, so it's like it's floating on the surface of all this honey.
Okay.
It's very weird looking. Yeah, because I covered it in honey and I put it in like a Tupperware container, and then I checked on it like this morning and I'm like, it's floating, so I like flipped it over.
Sambostein in the chat said PS1 Rogue Trip music, hell yeah. Yeah, I guess Rogue Trip had a lot of ska music. I didn't play Rogue Trip all that much myself, but I remember my friend, Sambostein from the chat, he was really in the Rogue Trip. It's like an arcade, like driving game, similar to like, what's the one with the weird clown with the flaming head?
Oh my god, I know the one you're talking about. That's Sweet Tooth. It's Twisted Metal. Yeah,
Twisted Metal. Yeah, Rogue Trip is pretty similar, I think, to Twisted Metal. Yeah, I like Twisted Metal. Sambostein just said.
Twisted Metal was always really interesting and always usually had a pretty interesting soundtrack as well. Although it was more like metal.
Yeah.
But no, I won't say that like, you know, I've been a diehard ska fan all these like 25 years since I started listening to it, but I still enjoy it. And I've been to a lot of live shows. I'm trying to think what's the favorite ska band I've seen live. Probably Real Big Fish when Scott was in the band.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like a thing that sometimes people forget online, that you don't have to be a diehard fan to say you enjoy something. It's way too many times if someone like says, yeah, I really like ska music. Someone comes in and name all the Real Big Fish songs. Like, what
name
are you talking about? Just let me enjoy things. Name every ska.
Name every ska. It's like, bitch, I've seen Toots and the Maytals. What about you?
Yeah.
Toots and the Maytals are one of the original ska bands from Jamaica.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is ska like from Jamaica? Because one thing I like noticed back in the day is that ska is just basically reggae in double time.
That's literally where it came from. So
okay, yeah.
Ska is the forerunner of reggae music, and it started out in Jamaica in the 60s. Desmond Decker, 007 Shantytown. That was like one of the first big ska songs. That was called the first wave of ska.
Oh shit! Hey, we got a raid.
Rude needs to get his mic boosted. Hey, Saru, how you doing? Saru, one of them. Let me pause this for a hot second, and I'll up my mic a little bit. All right, there we go. I guess not. All right, tell me if I sound okay. I also, like, my head keeps sort of like pivoting. Actually, you know what? Let's move my phone so I'm actually facing the mic when I look at it. How about that?
Amazing. What an innovation.
It's true. Paying attention to the technical stuff, and I've also cranked up my game a little bit. Let me know if I sound too loud. Saru, I don't know if you've interacted with her before. She's a very Saru is like wholesomeness incarnate.
I think I've raided Saru a couple times, once at least. I hang around in her chat.
So I had like a pretty big thing like this past January, like last year, where I had a birthday party in Finland and a lot of VTubers showed up for it, and Saru was one of them, and she actually took a little bit of a trip to get there. And it was her first time meeting other VTubers IRL, because in addition to having fun with other FinTubers, I also wanted them to like meet each other IRL and like, you know, interact with each other and all have a good time. So they would it would sort of deepen their bonds. It was a secret socialization experiment. And then when I was in Finland in July, Saur and I actually hang out and we went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine together.
Oh, cool.
We also actually, speaking of other, well, he technically is a fintuber. Turbo, the Eurobeat remix dude.
Yep.
We hung out with him too.
Nice.
Yeah, and well, I was, you know how on all of Turbo's thumbnails he has the car from Initial D?
Yeah.
I got him a little model of that car and I gave it to him.
Hell yeah.
I also wanted to get like a Quagsire figure because he loves the Pokemon Quagsire, so he could like do an IRL version of his thumbnails with the Quagsire standing in front of the car. But I could not find one.
No.
Well, that wasn't like yucky and gross and stuff.
Talking about favorite Pokemons, what was yours? The Mimikyu?
Mimikyu.
Yeah. You usually like you'd think my favorite Pokemon would be like
Hitmonlee or something like that.
Something like that. But genuinely, the Pokemon I love the most is Nosepass. I really love Nosepass. It's such a fun design. I don't know what it is about Nosepass, but it's just I love it so much. I do like fighting type Pokemon generally. A lot of them are really well designed. Like Tyrogue is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon designs. But there's just something about Nosepass. He's just a funny little guy.
Hey, Tak, was that the weird ostrich knights from Joust? Possibly. I know my character is riding around on an ostrich with an eye patch.
Hell yeah.
We're playing, Battle Circuit, which is one of the weirdest Capcom games.
Talking about like obscure games, there's one like Super Nintendo game. I always forget its name. You play with like a some kind of like cyborg samurai or something. It's like a side-scrolling.
The Ninja Warriors?
No. I never forget its never remember its name, but I haven't seen anyone play it. I just remember I had like a emulator for Super Nintendo and I randomly downloaded it and it's amazing. It's super hard, but I really like the game.
I'm trying to remember the one you're talking about because I have a lot of Super Nintendo ROMs because Super Nintendo was my jam, and I have the I have the Super Nintendo Mini and I've actually hacked it, so you can upload ROMs to it. 70s to 90s badass. Yes, it's true, Tak. But you know, I'm riding the solid stake of ostriches or flamingos.
I love this like Akira-ass motorbikes, but with like just
wheels.
panties.
Yep. Again, it's a fun and weird game.
They don't have any bras. Jesus Christ, must be cold.
And their asses are hanging out too. Anyway, does Mini have a good emulator? It's pretty decent. Like, actually, it's a little weird. The computer that I use to like do the emulation program. I realize now that I think since then I installed Linux on it, and it might not work with it anymore, which could be a problem.
They don't make ostriches with eye patches like they used to. I know, man. Things used to be so much better back in the day.
It's true. Sprite-based graphics, chiptune music, all this technological innovation. Old man grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh yeah, so coming back to the ska thing, my name is actually like, it's sort of based on ska because I've had it for like 26 years since like high school.
Oh.
So Rude Boys, that was sort of the term for Jamaican gangsters back in the day, and it kind of became associated with ska. So like if you were a rude boy or a rude girl, you were a fan of ska. Okay. And I wanted to be Rude Boy 737, but Rude Boy 737 was taken, and I had just read the book Train Spotting, which is set in Scotland, and everyone says lad and laddie a lot. So I picked Rudelad737. And the 737 is a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones reference. That's their P.O. box number that they wrote a song about.
That's a lot of references in one name.
Yeah, that's... Trust me, like, I have just an obscene amount of, like, references. Like, my real-life friends are like, you know, we should just have subtitles on you that explain all of your references. And I'm like, that makes sense. I mean,
translator's note.
Yeah, like just like like pages of translators notes. Well, it's like I think references when they hit are like gold. Like for example, when we first started talking about ska, I dropped in lyrics from the first song on Streetlight Manifesto's "The Hands That Thieve."
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was your favorite album at the time. But of them by the time. So like when you immediately came back with like Starry Night, I'm like, oh man, this is like Wheel of Fortune, and I solved the puzzle with like just an eye.
Yeah, true. That song, like Three of Us, is probably one of my most listened to songs on Spotify.
No, it's absolutely rad. It's just got like a Titanic opening that like the horns are just out there like a marching band. That's another thing. Like a lot of ska bands like recruited band kids who played like trumpet and trombone and sax. So there was always a good supply of people who could play the horns in ska bands. What the hell is this guy doing?
I have no idea. He just decided we can't fight him for a while. Yeah, like ska music is interesting because even in like such an relatively obscure genre, there's so much like variation in style.
Yeah, I mean, ska was sort of mainstream for like a hot second, and then it sort of faded back into like sort of the counterculture again. But yeah, there's so much variation because it feeds in from a lot of horn-based music. Like there was one album, I forget the name of the band, that had like a lot of Dixieland influence on it, and you get a lot of jazz influence.
Yeah.
And like the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, who did like a lot of like swing ska fusion.
Oh, yeah, then like bands like Ninja Spy, who have a lot more like metal influence in their songs.
Yeah, well, or the Voodoo Glow Skulls, same deal there.
Or the Flaming Octopus.
You're actually spitting bands that I don't know. This
Really?
is educational for me too. Oh yeah. No, well, I'm not exactly like Dr. Ska, the ska expert from Ska University.
What do you mean?
I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah.
And I have been to what's called like the Hometown Throwdown, which is where the Mighty Mighty Bosstones do like 3 shows at a smaller club in Boston.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Oh yeah, no, and I also saw the Boston Pops play their Christmas concert, which was amazing. And Amanda Palmer was there. She was a singer / piano player for the Dresden Dolls. But that's an entirely different genre. They call themselves cabaret punk.
Cabaret punk.
Yeah, they're worth checking out.
Okay. Talking about like
because they just
with the reggae like roots in ska-punk. One like style I find really interesting is like reggae metal, which to be fair isn't like really ska adjacent, but it has similar vibes. Like I don't know if you've heard the band Skindred.
I don't believe I have.
Yeah, it's like really hard metal with like reggae influences. It's super good. I really recommend you check it out.
Definitely. No, then there's also some obscure ska bands that I really like to like shout out sometimes, like the Hippos, who have this like utterly amazing album whose name I can't remember, that just has like, it has the most burningly awesome cover of Always Something There to Remind Me. Or like, you know how Real Big Fish did that amazing cover of Take On Me?
Yeah.
It's about that good.
Oh, nice. I think Take On Me might have been the first song I heard from Real Big Fish back in the day.
They made it to promote a movie by the by the South Park guys, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, called Basketball.
Sounds familiar.
It's a very weird movie. It's essentially about a fusion between, you know, baseball and basketball.
Okay.
And there was a weird it's like a sports movie plot with this weird made up sport. But it's also done by the guys from South Park, so it has some really weird ass sex jokes in it.
It sounds like a less tame version of Dodgeball.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. Like, I was about to say, should I describe this joke because it's like...
Go ahead.
All right, so there's an idiom in English called "she could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch."
What?
So there's literally a scene where Jenny McCarthy, you see her sucking the chrome off a trailer hitch.
Okay.
And because like her like old rich boyfriend told her to, I think, is a distraction or something. So you see like her lips are just covered in chrome. And you see this trailer hitch that like has had all the chrome ground off of it. And I'm like, wow, they went there. They really went there with Jenny McCarthy. And she was a hot property back in the day. She was like, I don't know. She was a funny hot girl who was on MTV. And she, one of those ladies literally said, "Ora." Ora, 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 ora. Yeah, but just like go with the anime and start JoJo Part 3.
I probably should.
It's so good. So
should I watch the anime or read the manga?
I'd say watch the anime because they've sort of it's refined and like the voices they get for everybody are just so good.
That's fair. Geo says, I love the South Park episode where they apologize for the film.
Really, they apologize for basketball?
That's cool.
Well, I mean, like obviously, like they were like kind of hot. They were hot. Is this like Octopus version 3?
I guess.
Yeah, Octopus Mark 3.
It's kind of sad. I'm talking about South Park. Back when I was a kid, my parents didn't let me watch Simpsons or South Park because they were like too crass.
Yeah, and they were also kind of rebellious as well.
They didn't really care about rebelliousness all that much because my parents always like taught us to keep our own beliefs and own opinions, like form our own opinions. But they just didn't like the style of humor they had in South Park, so I never watched the show then.
I mean, I was kind of prime age for South Park. Like it was kind of getting into its like, because it's sort of its first couple seasons. It was its crassness and its like animation style were kind of controversial. But eventually, like they actually kind of got more like philosophical and stuff like that. But I feel at a certain, so I watched a lot of it in college, but I feel like it got like way too preachy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
Like it, sort of like, you know, it's like you should think this way, you should feel this way. It was like, it was essentially sort of dictating morality to a certain extent. And
what is going on here?
We're on a giant plate
that
being moved by a dog, I guess.
That was absurd.
It was, but kind of hilarious. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. The show started getting less fun and funny and more just like, you know, it's like the episode where they're like Scientology is bad. And I'm like, right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I understand what they did and what they're trying to do. I mean, using comedy to kind of shine a light on social weirdness is good. And the fact that they've sort of like stuck with it for as long as they have, and they sort of haven't, quote unquote, sold out, but they haven't like, it doesn't feel like they've pulled a Family Guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That
I remember, like, kind of... first season of Family Guy, I remember I thought it was funny at some point, but it's just the more I see a Family Guy, the less I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they had interesting sort of jokes and stuff like that, but they sort of leaned way too hard on the cutaway gags and the cultural references and all kinds of stuff like that, and it was like a lot less fun. And it's kind of like, and South Park, it got like a little too like we have to give you this message.
What is this?
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
you are apparently a plant.
I'm the, what is it? Audrey 2 from.
Audrey 2. Shop,
little
little shop of horrors.
It's kind of interesting, like talking to you, because we're so clearly in like different generations, but there's just like some things, some like media IPs and references that both just do get. And I don't think is it about Finland has come like really behind in many things. So a lot of things that were like popular around the world in the 90s came here later in the 2000s. So it kind of feels like even as like a late 90s kids, I did like experience a lot of the like late 80s and 90s stuff by like in the 2000s.
I think so.
I have no idea what I'm doing with this black guy. It's just...
He looks cool. I mean...
Is his fist an apple?
I think.
At least in one move he throws like an uppercut with an apple.
That's pretty rad.
Apple cut.
But, I don't know, cultural touchstones can sometimes be sort of universal.
Yeah, that's true.
There's also the fact that my brain thinks in cultural allusions. I mean, that's sort of one of the reasons I kind of got to dislike Family Guy, was that like, that I'm like, yeah, you're referencing the fact, you know, the old Big Red skiing advertisements. I remember that those exist too.
Yeah, it's like that. There's no joke. It's just, hey, remember this thing.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Also, they like killed the concept of cutaway gags for The Simpsons.
True. I guess it says, yeah, there's like a 4 to 7 year delay from America to Finland with a lot of cultural stuff, especially if you were a child. Yeah, I don't think that applies like anymore, but definitely back when we were kids. Like, for example, me and Geossi were actually friends from like elementary school.
Right on.
So we do have like the same points of reference for like a lot of cultural stuff. I wasn't as big of a nerd as Geossi was back in the day, but we like experienced the same stuff, and it was a lot of things that were like popular in America back in the like
we have to vote
late 90s.
We have to vote on something, by the way.
Oh no, let's go here.
I guess it's an even vote.
I'm the master program.
You're the foolish humans. You dare interfere with me. Wait, Shiva's system is mine. What's this monster? Get out.
Get out of here.
Pink, I'll transfer the data for full power. Okay.
Okay.
And he's just sitting there frozen.
Ooh, cutscene. Last battle.
Oh,
cool. Die.
Now commence the final defense system. Program genocide.
Jesus Christ. That's a bit much. Where is the thing, the you will die thing from?
Well, I know there's
the Zelda CDI games.
You will die. How dare you bring light into my lair? You must die.
You must die. And then
Game Grumps actually did a pretty good riff on that.
So good to see you. You must die.
You must die. So my aunt is doing really well now. You must die. That's of course not the actual gags that they did because I can't remember them. But yeah, it was a pretty good run on those. Honestly, like that's some of the best comedic chemistry I've ever seen in my life is between Aaron and Danny. Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah, and like Danny on his own doesn't kind of have the same kind of comedic energy he has when he's with Aaron because they fit very much into the whole like role of like laid back guy and hyperactive weirdo like so well.
Yeah, true.
And like sometimes Aaron does get a little like stuck on certain comedic concepts and just a little gross.
True.
Like there was that whole like I think like year and a half period where they kept making jokes about preeing. Which yeah.
It's kind of odd at some point. But with how much like content Game Grumps is making, I doubt most people watch all of their stuff or even half of their stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
there was a period where I was like unemployed for a while when my day was centered around like Game Grumps releases.
I remember when they started with like Aaron and John, I used to watch like pretty much all of them, like all the episodes.
Right.
But at some point, it's unfeasible to watch everything they put out.
Yeah,
Especially these
I'm
days
more
when they have so many like channels and they do so many different like
like
series.
the Power Hour and like
Yeah.
Honestly, I tend to watch more like compilations and best of moments in the animateds more than anything else.
Yeah, the animateds are super great because they employ like a lot of really amazing animators.
And I like the fact that they do like a revenue split when they publish them on the Game Grumps channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, and what are they called? Space Bear, the guys that do all the Game Grumps remixes. Those are super great.
Oh, there's a guy named I think Neil Pisani, something like that, who does these like animateds where they look like Muppets, and he uses a lot of the Space Bear music. Like this really extended one to Chocolate Car.
Oh yeah.
My favorite though was probably Forklift Simulator, to the point where I have all these files on my computer. Like one of them is like my employment stuff, like my I had a spreadsheet for like jobs that I like looked for that I had to report to the government. So I called it the spreadsheet Forklift Simulator. Whoa, Mode 7 graphics.
Jesus. Sambustein says, "Hey, I understood that get out of here Game Grumps reference.
Get
Did I do
outta
a
here.
get out of here at some point? I guess I did.
One of us did, or we both did it. I think actually.
It might be. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
It wasn't that like from the early days of Dan joining Game Grumps.
Yeah, that was them playing like the Dennis the Menace Super Nintendo game. Like Dan this rap, where it's
Mr.
literally
Wilson rap.
And I'm here to say, I'm gonna beat your ass in a major way. What are you doing in my house? Get out of here! Get out of here! I hope I had a noise gate on that. No, that. I mean, it's like it's essentially like a big improv thing combined with like what we're doing now, like the yapping.
Yeah. Jesus.
But it's always sort of been like optimized for the YouTube algorithm.
True.
Oh man, there's actually
like something about like yapping. I think the word yapping is kind of strange. It's like devaluing talking about things that you are interested in. Kind of how sometimes I feel about it. Like instantly when someone talks in length about something they're like really into, it's called yapping. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of let people talk about what they like.
This is true. I mean,
when people talk about themselves, like a yapping stream or something, I think that's fine. It's a completely different thing.
Well, I mean, like a lot of VTubers use it a lot when they're just like sort of talking, like the just chatting meme. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of like think of it internally as like bullshitting, which is like I guess it devalues it even more because it sort of implies that what you're saying doesn't have any consequence and it's, you know, ephemeral. But I like it because it's like there's no like serious motivation behind it. So the conversation can kind of go anywhere. So you can have conversations like, what if you were a roofing contractor for the Death Star? You know, shit like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Which is a Kevin Smith reference. But yeah, like I love the yapping when you embrace it. Exactly. Like just sort of like the sort of unregulated talking, because like we were supposed to talk about a bit of ska today, but honestly we talked about it for like maybe 30 minutes, and mostly we've been talking about like various random topics like VTubing, and you know, we've been talking about some martial arts stuff and things like that.
Yeah, well, to be fair, both of those aren't all that random considering who we are. Like we're both
True.
VTubers. I'm a martial artist, like mainly. Yeah. That's
and we both like ska.
Yeah, true. So I think like almost 3 hours and talking about 3 topics. That's not a lot of like random shit.
Yeah, but we have like sort of like have these little divergences and stuff like that. Yeah. I think the thing is that like it's sort of unstructured, but we're talking about stuff that we care about. Like, I don't know. It's sort of hard to like quote unquote define, but I think this is the sort of content that I like making.
True.
How popular it is, I have no idea, but I like interacting with people, and I think people are genuinely the most interesting when they talk about stuff they care about.
That's true. That's like what my entire YouTube channel is based on.
Yeah,
like I mean, just like talking about things that I care about. It like started because I constantly talked about like different martial art topics to my friends so much that
we turned into penguins. Sorry,
they just kind of got bored of it, I guess. Not like I don't think they ever said to me like straight up that they got bored of it, but I just realized that I talk about it so much that I might just well do something about, like do something with the topics that I talk about. So I started making videos about them. But the thing is that they're a lot more structured than the streams we have here. Like this stream, I think it's kind of relaxing to me, because usually when I stream, I like focus so much on trying to, I don't know, speak English.
Yeah, that's something I always kind of forget, is a lot of people I stream with are kind of ESL.
Yeah, like English is my like second language, and I'm definitely not as like fluent in English as I am with Finnish, of course. So sometimes when I stream alone and I have no one to bounce off of with the things I say, a lot of the time just goes into me being silent and thinking about how to say something in English, because I first have to think about it in Finnish and then translate it in my head. So yeah. I don't know, like this unstructured stuff where I get to bounce off of someone else is like really relaxing to me. When I do videos, I usually like I what do you call it? Script everything, yeah. And then when I just have like some random like off-topic jokes or something with my girlfriend, we just leave them on there, and it feels a lot more genuine than if I scripted everything I wanted to say in the video. But yeah, this like totally like completely unscripted content like this, I think it's fine, and it's a nice change of pace for me. I think I've had like a lot of fun today.
I have had a lot of fun also.
Most fun I've had playing a video game like a long while.
I'm glad. I mean, honestly, like one of the reasons I've kind of gotten to like Finnish VTubing is being raised by a Finnish mother. Hearing someone speak English with a Finnish accent is immensely comforting to me. It makes me like a person like a lot. So yeah, it's really nice just to be able to like sort of talk with someone about topics that we both enjoy, and then plus I get that little bonus and things like that. That's why I think that like games you stream with, you should be able to like turn off your brain, well, turn off your active play of it to a certain degree. That's why I don't really like playing like story heavy games. Like I'm replaying Cyberpunk 2077 right now, but I'm playing it like off stream because I want to enjoy the story. Also, I do this like thing when I play like certain kind of open world games where I like constantly look at guides and stuff like that. Like I literally have like a tablet open next to me. And I'm like, okay, I need to pick this choice in the conversation, and that's not fun to watch. It's like, I don't know. It's
True.
like I was about to say it's like watching someone like building something, but that like I've done streams where I put together Legos because putting together Legos, it's something you could kind of do like by spot. Well, I can do it sort of by spinal reflex. I've been playing with Legos my whole damn life. But something you could sort of like talk and then do the thing at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's like gaming has like this weird. I don't know, is dichotomy a wrong word for it? But like when you stream games, you can turn off your brain for parts of it, but then if you want to like follow a story, it's super hard to be engaging and following a story at the same time.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
letting the viewers follow the story at the same time. It's like you have to do three things at once, and I can do that. So I did 2 streams of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm kind of considering dropping it as like a stream game. I love the game, and first I started playing it on stream because I thought that if I let myself play it offline, I won't do anything else for like weeks. But now I'm considering that it's not like a good streaming game because I'm quiet most of the time because I just like to enjoy the game as it is.
Yeah, I mean, and I think streaming to a certain extent, you have a duty to be engaging in one way or another. And dichotomy was about the right use of the word. I was about to say, actually, I'm an English literature major, so like,
Ooh, cool.
I think about like I always say my first love is the English language. So, but yeah, coming back to that, games can definitely be like a lot of different ways. But I think the primary duty of a streamer is to be engaging, whether it's like by super great gameplay, or by being funny, or by being interesting. Because to a certain extent, people can get the experience of like playing a game like a lot of the time. I mean, there's certain things that streamers can do that others can't. They can have like a super high-end PC that people can't afford, so they like play the game in max settings, or they might be like a really skilled speed runner, and people want to see that. But I think like the best way to engage people is to be sort of like interesting or funny. But there's different ways to do that. I mean, back in the day, I used to be like, if you're not talking to your audience, you're not a real streamer. But I'm like, no, I mean, that's a little judgmental. That's a little gatekeepery. Streaming can be whatever you want it to be, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I'm kind of bad at streaming video games because I'm not good at like most of video games. I'm not good at them, and I don't think I'm like funny enough to justify being bad at video games to stream them. It's kind of a weird thing to think about. Like, maybe it's like a self-conscious thing. But so I want to like focus my attention on doing streams that other people probably wouldn't be doing. Like I did a tier list on video game boxer characters, and I had like example videos of all of them, and I ranked them as like how well they represent the style. That's like something that I don't see people doing all that much. Like martial arts related streamer content overall is kind of rare. So I'll just stick to my niche.
Well, yeah, I mean, niche is definitely a way to get in, and then once you kind of like get more people interested in your personality, the way you look at things, that's when you can kind of like sort of build your audience a little bit more. Again, this is sort of like an inside baseball thing. I don't know if everyone wants to hear it, but I think it's really interesting, so I'm gonna fucking talk about it.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, I mean, like honestly, like your niche is kind of like martial arts. You know it, you've experienced it, you know how it works. My niche is kind of being old. I've got a lot. because a lot of people in the VTubing space are like in their like 20s or 30s, and I've got experience with certain things that other ones of them don't, like having to live like the analog life of the 80s, like having to use payphones and like write stuff down in like a little address book that I had to carry around with me, or like being interested in punk in a certain era where it was harder to get like punk rock music and learn about it and stuff like that. Like I remember reading this amazing book called England's Dreaming, which is essentially about the British punk scene, like back in the like late 60s through to like the 80s, and how it sort of like evolved. And yeah, I also have more life experience stuff, of like, I have held hands with a woman, that's something some streamers haven't done. However, you've got experience in that regard.
A bit.
I mean, and honestly, there's certain niche things you could probably do, like two people who know about and have and will practice martial arts in a relationship. That's sort of like an innovative thing that I haven't really heard a lot about. So that's always something. It sounds like you produce content with your lady, which I think is very sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, I'm not sure how much I could rip content out of that. Like the idea of like two people who do martial arts and are in a relationship, but it like comes in handy when doing the content I do, like as like a side plus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and plus, when you're working on a script, you can sort of like bounce things off your partner and be like, hey, is this going to be like funny if I make like a joke about, someone doing a joint lock?
Yeah, true. We do like when we do like record the videos, like I usually just script the whole thing and then we record, and while recording we kind of bounce off of each other like, hey, would it be funny if we do this and that? It usually works pretty well. Like I think my girlfriend is super funny, so that helps. You're welcome.
That's very cute. Tack actually asked, isn't punk aesthetic based off items that you actually stole, which is why actual punks didn't like what places with like Hot Topic was offering? So punk was more DIY than stuff you stole, but I mean, you could do DIY with stuff that you stole. Like I remember, I think the only thing I ever stole was like a drill handle from Walmart.
You thief.
Yeah, I'm a horrible man.
The handstand thief.
Dun dun dun. But yeah, I mean, like I did a certain amount of DIY stuff. I remember I had a wallet chain that like I took like a dog leash from a store and like cut off like part of it and then like made it into a chain for my wallet rather than buying one from Hot Topic. But I am also guilty of buying shit from Hot Topic.
Well, if you like it, then does it really matter? Like where?
Yeah, I mean, like it's one of the most influential things I ever heard about punk rock, because I sort of embraced punk rock in college after I'd already been in the ska, was that if you say you're a poser, you're a punk, and if you say you're a punk, you're a poser. I mean,
yeah, that makes sense.
It's sort of like,
really
I mean, does. One of the topics I was kind of going to touch on at some point with you was like McDojos, like sort of the the strip mall martial arts stuff.
Yeah, the posers of martial arts world.
Yeah. People who like, think by going to like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class once a week in a strip mall, that's going to make them like the ultimate badass, which is, not true.
But there's like, even there's like the thing that people practice martial arts for different reasons, and recreational martial arts is, I think, a totally valid reason to do it. Like just to have a hobby. And some like hardcore martial artists really frown upon like strip mall martial arts. Like, oh, you do karate like two times a week on a strip mall, like you're not a real martial artist. Like, who gives a shit? Like, good for you for training like 7 times a week and getting sweaty with burly men. That's on you. But it doesn't make the other person's martial art less valid of a hobby. It might not be like as valuable in like a self-defense, like street fight situation, but most people won't be going to street fights anyway. So does it really matter?
And that guy's knees will probably be porridge by the time he's 34.
Yeah. So it's I have this like issue with because I like to think that when I train martial arts, it's useful in like an actual fight. But then again, like I also want to train like Baji Shin or like Tai Chi or whatever, like things that totally wouldn't help me in a street fight. But just because they're cool, I want to experience them. Or like practice Hima or something like sword fighting, whatever. I wouldn't. I hope I won't ever get into a sword fight, but it would be fun to like know how to do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I'm kind of the same way with firearm stuff. Like I am probably never going to get into a gunfight in my life, and if I do, I'll probably lose quite badly. But yeah, I just like shooting. I think it's enjoyable, and obviously I'm not Mr. Tactical. I don't have any military experience or law enforcement experience, and I never pretend to. Like one of the things I eventually want to do is shoot in what's called a 2-gun match. That's rifle and pistol. But if I do it, I'm gonna wear like a bright royal blue Adidas track jacket with a Finnish flag patch on it. Also, I want to get like the Finnish camo because I think it looks really cool.
Oh, the MO5 camo.
The pickle salad, as my poopina called it. No, I actually got I got like a meter of that fabric.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna put it around one of my holsters because like this is a craft project I got. I've got like a gun holster that I got for like $14 on eBay, and this is normally the kind of holster that sells for like I don't know, like $100. And it's really beat up, and it's got like synthetic leather on it. So I'm gonna like take the leather off and like completely like scrub off all like the adhesive off of it, and then I'm gonna put different adhesive on it and then wrap it in like Finnish MO5 fabric.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
It's actually like talking about craft projects. One thing I've been like considering is how could I like combine like my topics of martial arts and like craft stuff because like I studied metalworking and woodworking both for 3 years. Those are like my what do you call them?
Profession.
Like I could like work as a metal fabricator or blacksmith or like a carpenter. Not carpenter. What is it? Cabinet maker.
Wow.
But,
I
like combining that with martial arts. It's kind of hard. I've been considering like doing like carving streams, like carving some kind of like martial arts character from wood, but then I'd have to be a lot better at carving, so that's an issue. But you gotta start somewhere. I think it could be an interesting idea at least.
You know, everyone's comic is someone's first comic. Everyone's first wood carving martial arts stream is someone's first wood carving martial arts stream. I mean, you learn and you grow and you get more confident. That's the like the basic like supportive uncle thing I have to say. But yeah, try it, man. I'm like, I mean, if it doesn't go right at first, and even if it doesn't go right after you try it for a little bit, I mean, you gave it a shot. You tried doing something different, and too many people in this world try doing the same thing. I mean, like, how many people are playing Marvel Rivals and that Yandere Girlfriend game right now?
Yeah, true.
Meanwhile, we're playing like games from like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's always like inherent worth in like trying stuff.
Absolutely.
No matter how badly it goes, just like trying things.
Absolutely, I think so. Holy shit! I was about to say I'm just popping up, like raid information and stuff like that, and Donna's got 2.8k viewers right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's currently got a follower girl up of like 8,000, and she's at 7,427.
Didn't she like stream with Gianni Matragrano at the start of her stream? I think.
Yeah. She was talking. I forget what she was playing, but yeah. Oh, also, it's funny. She's got a couple of JoJo's Part 3 characters as Among Us in the background. But yeah, it's very, very proud of her. We'll give her her props later.
Yeah.
But I was about to say, in terms of like raid targets, Playtoys is actually having his birthday celebration, so that might be worth it.
Sure.
But if you have any ideas, I'm very open to them.
I think Rusto. Do you know Rusto, one of the fintubers? He's playing Elden Ring Randomizer. It's been super funny to watch. But yeah, I think we should probably raid Playtoys. He has a birthday stream, then sure, let's go there.
Definitely, and we're just a little over 3 hours. Yeah, this has been a shit ton of fun, man. We definitely have to do it again.
It was super fun. I hope we can do this again soon.
Yep. All right, so
I think Playtoys is he playing Crash Team Racing?
I believe so.
Yeah. So we get to see some more like old school video games.
Old games, absolutely. All right, so do you have anything you want to like plug, promote, etc.?
Go check out my YouTube.
Check out his YouTube. He does good content.
It's the same name, Mixed Martial Art.
I was about to say, with a very nice lady who could probably put you in an armbar.
Probably, yeah.
It's true. I have a YouTube channel as well. It's under Finnish American Studies, but I haven't posted anything there in a while. But I'm actually looking at doing some essays specifically about a series of library books from when I was a kid called Monsters of Mythology. But that's a whole other thing.
Oh, cool.
No, yeah, I'll tell you about it like off stream. But
yeah.
Anyway,
if we raid, does it like automatically raid for both of us, or do we have to raid separately?
I think we both have to raid, but I mean, we'll see. But let me go ahead and say my closing, which is karaoke like no one's listening, simp like you've never been hurt, stream like there's nobody watching, and live every day like you've already made partner.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, as far as all that goes, all right, let's start the raid process, and we'll go see Playtoys. He's at the top of the list. I hope it didn't hear me.
Did you start the raiding already?
I've started the process, but I haven't hit start raid yet.
Okay, so it doesn't go for both of us, like. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, we'll raid Playtoys too, so we'll see you there.
Excellent. Yeah, again, it's been lots of fun, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
All right, starting my raid now.
Yep. This was fun. I'll raid now. See you later, guys. Take care.